A 6-3 survival late night in the City of Angels. Welcome in. It's 9 to noon. The Brewers win 6-3. I'm Billy Schmidt, Armin Sarian. Well done, sir. Mixing in a Seinfeld drop, which I know is one of your favorites.
Well, I couldn't help myself when that opportunity presents itself. You know, you guys know I cannot just avoid the Seinfeld drop.
My goodness. Well, John Koo. Wow, that was bad. Dealing with those Sean McDonough illnesses. But you know what? Like, he's battling through, calling game 5 and game 6 of the Stanley Cup final because we get a game 6 thanks to last night.
Oh, that was great.
John Coons with all of you on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line. And John, I should have known that was going to happen. I should have put the Seinfeld drop in there, even after a moment like that for Jackson Chourio, one guy that he had said, I hope he starts, like 0 for 20, 0 for 25, maybe gets sent down, doesn't have any of this hot start. That young man has battled through, gets a moment. But then the Brewers need a savior right at the end, and luckily Super Sal Frelick out in center field robs a home run. I should have known Armin was going to squeeze that one in between those two beautiful Brewer highlights last night.
Yeah, and he should, because anytime there's an inside about it. And now it was a double last night.
Well, double with an error, yeah.
Double with an error. And I don't care.
Error.
I don't care. Anytime you scoot around the entire base path, I mean, is there anything more fun? I remember Little League. To me, inside the park homers were awesome in Little League.
Little League homer.
Yeah, peak in Little League. Yep.
And you were just, I mean, we played on field sometimes it didn't even have a fence.
Yep.
And if you hit it over the outfielder's head, run. Run. It's just as good as hitting a bomb because, or if the center fielder starts running it, the classic was the center fielder starts running in. And then the ball goes over. The old misjudgment. Yeah. Center fielder runs in, ball's over his head. Oh, that's an inside the park home.
Well, or even better, a ground ball over to the shortstop. He tries to make a Derek Jeter-like play because growing up in the early 2000s, everybody thought they were going to do the leap, throw across
Spin
your body,
around,
get him over at first base, airmail it over the first baseman's head, clank off the fence, rolls into right field. Right fielder comes in because he's obviously backing up specifically for that reason. And he's going to gun you out at third base, throws it over the third baseman's head, and then you wheel it on home. Luckily, Joe Adell's terrible in the outfield. Jackson Chourio has the fastest around the bases, home to home in the StatCast era, which may have started in, 2016, 2017. But I know somebody was telling Brian Anderson last night on the call, hey, BA, fastest ever home-to-home track speed. And BA's like, I'm not going there. I'm not going there quite yet on the night of Willie Mays' passing.
Yeah.
Anytime you can throw an analytic in, Armin somewhere,
you're gonna be happy.
And Armin somewhere grows a wing. Right?
I grow a wing.
Here's a twinkle in his ear.
And somewhere KB gets an alert that I mentioned an analytic or a stat on Twitter, because then he swoops in to refute.
You see my tweet?
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right, John.
He's not into big analytic.
KB can't stand when I talk about war and stuff like that. So
yeah, let's set the scene of last night, John.
Let's do it.
Miles per hour, that's a big deal.
To me, that's a regular, or at least time.
Normal stat.
I mean, like what's a more, first of all, what is an analytic? It's just a piece of information, right? A stat.
Well, you have
point.
OPS plus,
sure.
Extra positive. You have all
literally
kinds of things.
All this
you have blood types I've never heard of when you start throwing out statistics.
Yeah, but all this was timing him around the bases. So yeah, it was 14.7 seconds for Jackson Chourio home to home, which is amazing, right? I would never, if someone told you to guess.
Sometimes that doesn't even mean you hit the top speed the best. It just means you're most efficient curving the base path.
Cuts the bases around, and you mentioned what the great Willie Mays passing last night, and I just got goosebumps. I was telling Billy this before the show. You watch Jackson Chourio fly around third and the hat flies off. And I just got goosebumps.
And Willie Mays would talk about that he would wear a hat one size too small because people love watching your hat fall off while you're flying around the bases.
That was his trademark. His hat would fly off, and it just got goosebumps when I saw that.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely a moment like that when he turns around third base.
And with the great Willie Mays passing, but yes. And that's kind of how we got into the analytic thing last night.
Yeah, and the analytic now of wins above replacement. Now that would be an analytic because I am looking at the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition of analytic, relating to or using analysis or logical reasoning.
Oh, I'm sorry for using logical reasoning.
So that didn't necessarily sound like wins above replacement, but anything that's more than like a batting average and an ERA or wins and losses generally becomes more of an analytic. Mm-hmm. Armin mentions the WAR the wins above replacement that Willie Mays had last in his illustrious 24-year career.
Third all time, 156.2.
Remarkable number.
Which is an incredible number. And I tweeted last night, John, I said, just to, I hope people realize how great he was, in comparison, for reference, Derek Jeter's career WAR, a guy that we consider one of the great players ever, was 71. So he over doubled Derek Jeter's career WAR. That's how valuable Willie Mays was as a player. And,
were replacements just really bad back then?
It's true. I mean, it's hard to compare era to era because of that. And then KB swoops in and say WAR didn't exist.
I mean, okay, so we joke about WAR all the time.
Yeah.
Can we be honest for a second? I know it's wins above replacement, but
Correct.
How do they decide that? What analytics are used to decide that then?
It's an equation to calculate WAR. It's a complex calculation, including.
Well, just give me some of the things within it.
I mean, it's. Let me see if I can find.
If you don't know what they use,
I don't know. I don't. It's okay. It's batting runs plus base running runs plus minus runs from GIDP plus fielding runs plus positional adjustment runs plus replacement level runs divided by runs per win. Now, I don't know how any of that, but I'm not a mathematician. I mean, I'm not really, so I don't know how to say.
You just trust. There's no verification. There's no trust but verify. It's like
going to it's like if I go to the doctor, you trust, I don't have his training, or if a plumber comes to the house, I trust he knows, or if an electrician comes.
Oh, you do.
Well, I tried.
Problem with that. You've never had a problem with that, huh?
Thank goodness so far, all my plumbing has been successful when I asked a guy to come over. But you're right, John, it's trust, and if I did my own math, maybe I could find a different equation, but
the number of runs above an average player is worth in his batting, his base running, and fielding, an adjustment for the position in which he plays, and an adjustment for the league. And plus the number of runs provided by a replacement level player divided by runs per win.
Right.
So it goes by the runs per win would simply just be the runs that you win, the runs you score in wins would be the number that's divided upon all the different measurables that they factor in for what positions you play. And that's where different players are more valuable at shortstop and first base because of your defensive metrics go higher.
And I understand it's well-rounded all-around players have higher WARs, guys that can run, guys that can field, guys that can hit, that can do a little thing. Their WAR is much higher. And I'm with you, Armin. I can't verify this one. I'm not an analytic nerd. I don't have that type of mathematic background to really break it down. But I believe there are mathematic baseball nerds out there who have tried to debunk this. Like this is stood the test of time, basically because some nerds came up with it and then other nerds tried to break it down, but they couldn't because it just was validated. So I actually trust this one too. And that was cool, but I don't remember Willie Mays because of WAR. In fact, I don't remember Willie Mays at all. I mean, he played his entire career before we got to watch. But I do know one thing about Willie Mays: the catch.
Yes,
the catch. Right. And when I hear the name Willie Mays, I think, okay, here's one of the greatest baseball players, if not the greatest baseball player to ever play the game, which was once America's game, made the most iconic play in baseball history when baseball was at its biggest, when it was at its height.
Yeah.
So, to some extent, that catch could basically be if you had a logo for baseball, like basketball has Jerry West, it could be Willie Mays over the shoulder catch.
Well, the 1954 World Series, what was amazing about that is it was in the Polo Grounds, right? So
which famously was 500 feet to center field.
Had the super deep center field, and he's going back on the ball and caught it. And then people always talk about how the throw was more impressive. Then
turns and doesn't even look and flicks it with a wrist 200 feet.
Obviously one of the most famous examples, but there are many of how great of a player he was. And, in his passing, you try and think about that and put guys in perspective in their proper place in history. And that's what I love about standardized measurements. And people are like, oh, you're an analytics nerd. That's not. I love it because we can appropriately talk about the greatness of a player like Willie Mays. Like Willie Mays, you want people to understand it. Like it's easy to just say, he was an old time great. You put him in with all the other greats, great player, whatever. But like, how really great was he? You're talking about one of the top 5 players of all time, and you can prove it with the measure like this. And you're right, John. The catch is the highlight you see over and over and over again. No doubt
Did
about it.
you know?
But when you look at his numbers, they're absolutely incredible on both ends. Sort of like when you looked at Hank Aaron's numbers, how consistent he was with power and hitting and all these things.
Did
Obviously,
you know
in that same
that
vein.
Willie Mays didn't even think that was his best catch ever.
Yeah, he did. I did remember seeing that once.
There were multiple
Yeah.
catches that he thought he made that were better than that catch. I do remember one that he had talked about one time. I think it was a barehanded catch that he had made. He made a barehand. Listen to this, Billy. He made a barehanded catch his rookie year. Now you know what you do to rookies when they make great plays, right? When they hit their 1st home run, you don't even look at them when they hit the dugout. They just walk in.
The silent treatment, right?
Yeah. And apparently he got the silent treatment, so that play never got any pub because he was a rookie and he did it his rookie year. But I think it was like a diving barehanded catch that he had made
Crazy.
his rookie year that he actually thought was one of his better catches than the catch.
Well, and that was before he goes into the military and gives a year of service before coming back and then winning the MVP award. It's like, that's the part of it too, for the players of that generation. And Willie Mays is one of the final ones of that era for us. Like, that's something that is completely past, luckily, and knock on wood, hopefully for forever, at least us as Americans, me growing up in a different generation of it. That was never even fathomed, that the greatest players in the world like Ted Williams or Willie Mays would then at some point have to go into the military at that exact moment at the peak of their power, and then to be able to go and pick it up right back again. Yeah. I was honestly introduced to Willie Mays, and people might not like this part of it. My real introduction to Willie Mays was when Barry Bonds was going in on his chase for 73 in the single season home run record and the all-time home run record as his godfather. And there were many people that like, quit trying to make Willie Mays make Barry Bonds likable. No one's going to like Barry Bonds just because you put Willie Mays next to him. It's not going to change it. But that was when I was introduced to just how crazy special he was. And he also is another one of those guys that we think about. And Bill Walton, we talked about this with Jerry West. We talked about this. It always feels like it comes in threes, in three very much iconic sports figures passing away within the last month. Willie Mays was one of the first guys to be able to blend in this sport, especially coming from the African American side and playing in the Negro leagues, to let his personality be one of the reasons why people wanted to come and see him. Right? He knew that the entertainment part of baseball, the entertainment part of sports, were a massive factor into it.
Yeah.
And wanted that to be a flavor of it. If he plays in a different generation where that's continued to, be highlighted and showcased, he could have been even more of a superstar. Like that's the crazy thing to think of, that there always are guys that start the process of being more entertaining, try to be more boisterous. And I mean, the Say Hey Kid was one of the reasons, because you just say, yeah, I kind of forgot what those guys' names were. So I started just screaming it to journalists, and then they're just, we're just going to call you the Say Hey Kid, because that's the only thing you call us is hey. It's just remarkable stories like that it is tough when we start thinking of that generation's figures and all-time greats, John. Willie Mays was one of the final ones that we still had in the midst there.
And, when you think about baseball greats, baseball history, because baseball has been surpassed by football, basketball as, America's popular sports. You resonate a lot of these older guys, these iconic plays, the catch, Kirk Gibson's walk-off home run. You got Nolan Ryan's no hitters, right? You have certain things, Babe Ruth calling his shot, things that are almost at this point in time urban legend or lore, because you barely have black and white video for some of these moments, and those are the biggest things in baseball. I mean, think about some of the big moments that we've seen in our lifetimes, and do they match up? Do they even get discussed like these?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's fair.
You're right. It's a totally different era, right? It's a totally different era. And then the stories, but the golden age of baseball always had that mythological aspect to it, which I think people love. And a lot of it's like him playing stickball, when he would, like Willie Mays would play games.
I'd go out there for an hour and go play stickball with the kids in the street.
Yeah, and it wasn't just he would just high five him and go home. He would like legit play stickball. I mean, think about it. This was a kid from Alabama when he grew up. He came to the Giants when he was 20, New York Giants, so Manhattan. living in Harlem when he was 20 years old and 51, probably all alone. Baseball had just been integrated. He had to navigate all that, and he's still able to play, have one of the greatest careers. He basically invented the 5-tool player term, right? He was the first. I mean, I don't know if he was the first 5-tool player. Not really. When you go back maybe 50 years before that, there were other guys that could do all those things, but he basically was the invention of that term. A guy that could, hit for power, average, run, field, and throw. So,
well, and you point out
amazing stuff.
Yeah, and you point out the fact that they did just come into baseball once it was fully integrated, right?
Yeah.
Like once it just did into New York City, and then his final game is Game 7 of the World Series when he moves back to New York after getting traded back to the Mets. Like it's a legendary, iconic career, but it's also made because of the kind of guy he was and how many different people were touched by him. That it always takes away. It becomes the headliner for the night when a legend of his status passes away. But then, I don't know. You mentioned it with Jackson Chourio with the hat flying off. I don't know if it's rude or if it's wrong or if it's just complimentary because you wish and pray that people can have the kind of career and the impact on the game that he did. But he did come in as a 20-year-old rookie, and then our 20-year-old rookie ends up clearing the bases with that little league home run last night. I'm not saying, just saying. I would love to be able to see it, but it does. You said it gives you a little goosebumps, Armin. It absolutely will.
When the hat flew off, rounding third, like that was the thing. Like I couldn't believe it in a way, that moment too. Hoping that Jackson scored, like we're gonna get this lead and all that, and then it just made you think about it for a second.
And we were also wrapped up in the fact of hoping that we get to see the Oilers fan one more time.
One more time, and they got that dub, which was great because I want to keep watching this series. So,
yes. Back to the land of bridges.
I think we need to see some karma. The world only river. You got to put the bridge here, there's a bridge to the stadium to show your.
Well, and somebody's needing a bridge. Monty Williams. I don't know if there's a bridge big enough to go from Detroit to Los Angeles, but holy cow! What a story here in the NBA that broke just before we got on here. We'll get into it as a team in the Bucks division. They do have divisions in basketball. They do have divisions in basketball. A Central Division rival of the Milwaukee Bucks deciding to gas their head coach and give him 60+ million reasons to stay away. That story and plenty more. Brandon Ayuk wish somebody would give him that kind of money, but he's being told to stay away by his former team while he's waiting for that cash. A team maybe flipping states. A lot to get to, and you on a wide open Wednesday at 414-799-1973. NicolayLaw.com text line open and ready for business. Clock's in, ready to go. John Kuhn, Billy Schmidt, Armin Sarian with all of you on 9 to noon. Stay wide on the game. Welcome back, 9 to noon on the game. Tonight at midnight, our special closes, or before midnight, if indeed we sell out, we reach 300 sold for Nooner Day 5. 1 week from today, this radio program going to be broadcasted live from the Yount General parking lot, in the outfield, at American Family Field, in between Pavilion 6 and 7. We got our trailer getting ready to be wheeled over into the parking lot. It's also going to be appearing at Summerfest coming up tomorrow with Drew and KB. Not going to want to miss that. Big gig kicking off tomorrow. But 1 week from today, it's Nooner Day 5, $14. Final day to be able to get your tickets in our special Nooner Day section. 9 noon on Twitter, as the kids are calling it X these days. It's right there at the pin tweet. It's also the pin tweet at Bill Schmid Radio, at Armin Sari, and you know the name, you know the handle. And Coon J30 is how you follow John Coon. He's got it there as well. You can find it one final day. Ran out on Sunday. We were able to call in one special ask, and that special ask was get it extended through midnight tonight. So your final chance is to get Nooner Day 5 tickets. We'll remind you one more time, if you're going into a meeting and then all of a sudden you forget about it, Nooner Day 5 tickets got to be bought today, because then you can get into the tailgate that starts at 11. That is going to feature the Billy Brat, courtesy of Beecher Meats. Also some other tailgate fare if you don't like spice, you don't like jalapenos, and you don't like pepper jack cheese, along with sauerkraut into your brat. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. Some people don't like that. We're going to have the regular ones there as well, and we're also going to have 200 t-shirts thanks to Sluggo's Pub and Grill in Brookfield for the first 200 Nooners at the event on Wednesday, June 26th. That is a week from today, Nooner Day 5, as the Brewers take on the reigning defending World Series champion Texas Rangers. 414-799-1973. There is a ton of news coming out. Throughout the NBA, it's going to be newsy season, right? They tweaked the rules, guys. I had not realized this, John Armin, that you can now negotiate with your own free agents the day the NBA Finals is over. So now, as Pascal Siakam is set to be a free agent once the league year ends on June 30th, he is able to negotiate a contract with the Indiana Pacers, who traded for him at the deadline this year. Woj saying they're going to sign him. Looks like it's going to be $198 million over the next 4 years. I got to find a job like that. That would be amazing to be able to find a gig where you can get for 4 years $198 million. Or, John, get a gig like Monty Williams had for a year in Detroit, where he was signed to a 6-year contract that was worth over $70 million. Today is dismissed within the last hour by the Pistons. A 2-time coach of the year. He was lured to Detroit by a massive contract last year. With 5 years, $65+ million left on the contract, the Pistons say, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Get the heck up out of town. They're now going to have your boy Traden Langdon pick his new head coach, because he is the new president of basketball operations, coming from East Anchorage, Alaska High School. That is a wild story and a hell of a bag for Monty Williams to be taking from the city of Little Caesars there in Detroit and going wherever he may. Maybe it is LA.
There has never been a job that you get paid to do. You get paid more to do less because you can't. What's the last coach to make it to the end of his contract?
Oh, that's a fair question.
Who absolutely knows anymore, because all these contracts are like funny money now. In a way, like the years don't really matter. It's about the buyouts and the years, because
I mean, could you imagine getting a job that says, hey, we got you for 5 years. You're only going to do 1, but we're going to pay you for 5. Done. I can't think of anything that makes better sense for anybody out there. You're wondering why JJ Redick would stop calling NBA Finals to become a head coach?
Oh, yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
But he only has to do it for a year or two.
I mean,
then he can go right back to broadcasting.
Is NBA head coaching the best or the worst job of ever? Sometimes I'm like, well, this is the worst
best
job ever.
Of times and the worst of times.
You can't keep a job, because no matter what you do, how many times coach of the year, NBA champions, fired. Vogel, Budenholzer, coach of the year. Who was my man? Casey in Toronto. Remember when he was fired?
Yeah,
but then I'm
gone.
like, it's the best ever, because guys are getting paid not to work all over the place. I mean, what an incredible situation to live in. right? I mean, it's just really wild to think about this. That's all I had to say about that. I mean, it's just wild.
It was a record-setting deal of 6 years, unprecedented, $78.5 million last year for his new role. They were 14-68, which included a 28-game losing streak. And the owner said, yeah, I'm going to gas everybody. Fired the previous general manager, Troy Weaver. And then they put in Langdon, and now they have decided to let him be his own man and let him go and pick his own head coach. And immediately the way that it was phrased by Woj, John, and this is where, sometimes I let my read in between the lines get in the way of just reading the news and comprehending it and thinking about it that way. I'm always thinking that there could be a little bit more to it. When he reports it as after one season, the Detroit Pistons have dismissed Monty Williams, who leaves with 5 years, $65+ million left on his deal. President Trangton Langdon will move to make his own coaching hire now. I'm like, whoa, leaving that money? He's leaving that money? Sure. He must have a job waiting. He must have something in line where he knows he's going to make some money. And no, he's actually getting all that cash, but then still could. Now, he said he was going to take a year off last year before they offer him $78.5 million. I'd bypass a year off too. I wonder, there's a couple of spots that are still available. You mentioned JJ Redick. LeBron James has said that he is very complimentary of Monty Williams. Went and watched him coach a finals game in person, courtside in Phoenix. Could be very interesting for the LA Lakers. They're sitting here because there's no news right now for JJ Redick. To me, isn't good news. If I'm JJ Redick, I'm signing on the dotted line as quickly as it's in front of me.
Well, yeah, but Shams did say,
I don't know that it's in front of him.
Yeah, but Shams did say yesterday it's down to him or Borrega. So isn't that as good as gold, Shams' word?
Right? You sure?
I don't know.
The one that didn't know that Danny Hurley was a candidate and was going to get 6 years, $70 million offered to him?
Yeah, but Shams was right. He was not a candidate.
Oh, he was a candidate?
Well, maybe.
Was he not a candidate if he gets the job offered?
He was a candidate, but Shams said it was never going to be him. So I don't know. It depends how you look at it, I guess. I get your point. We might not know everything. Should I not just take Shams' word as gold? Like, he might not know everything, guys?
I don't know that this is in Shams we trust, John. Like, I think there's more layers to this whole thing. And Monty Williams might have a little something up his sleeve waiting to pull out.
I don't know. The more I look at it, the NBA is just very impulsive with their hirings, very impulsive with their firings.
With their player acquisitions and movement. Absolutely.
I totally agree, John.
It's almost like, you have a conspiracy theory that there's all kinds of things, 6 degrees of separation to the LA Lakers job in everything that goes on in either sports media, coaches getting fired. I just think these teams don't know what the hell they want. And they're like, well, that one didn't work. And they're impatient. So
very impatient. Yes.
Okay.
That's for sure.
You know what? It's Monty Williams. He said he's going to take a year off. What better? The coach wants to take a year off. Now we should hire him. We should definitely hire him now. And we should pay him a lot of money. We should guarantee him 5 years. Okay, well, maybe he was serious about taking a year off because it looked like he took a year off while he was sitting on our bench. Let's fire him now. Let's continue to pay him while we hire somebody else. Meanwhile, who's going to take that job? Danny Hurley doesn't want the Lakers job. Who's going to take the Pistons job?
Yeah, apparently James Borrego, who has just been thrown in here as the name alongside JJ Redick for the Lakers job. Just be like, hey, we got to have another name out here that we're also talking to. Let's just make it James Borrego, who was a head coach in the league at one point.
Or is everybody out there saying, actually, just give me the job.
I'll take it. I don't care if I'm going to fire me halfway through the year. Actually, give me the job and fire me as quick as possible so I can work for free.
Jimbo Fisher's trying to sign up for one of these this gig again.
I think I think that's closer to what it is, though, John. I actually agree because it's like, okay, you have ownership in sports that's rich, that they have money to be impulsive with it, and they're used to being able to force what they want to happen, but you can't force winning, right? So, but you keep trying because you have the money. So it's like, I'm tired of losing. Whatever it takes, we're paying the best coach. Get Monty Williams, and it doesn't work. Could you imagine? So fire Monty Williams. I don't care.
Get rid of him.
Yeah.
But could you imagine if teams were capped on how much they could pay coaches like they are players? Like, here, let's throw a cap on coaches. Now all of a sudden you're like, then we paid this guy a lot, but we're stuck here because we got dead money going forward. We can't pay 3 coaches. We can pay 2. We can't pay 3.
Yeah,
we are stuck with Adrian. We're stuck with Adrian Griffin for the rest of the year. I mean, that would be fascinating.
Well, and you just mentioned that name. Is that Adrian Griffin's music? Is
Does
that
he-
is that
What
Adrian
is his
Griffin's
music?
I
music?
wish we had music for him.
What's Adrian Griffin's walk-up music?
Yeah,
What's
I
his
don't know.
walk-up song?
I mean, it could be something by Eminem if he's running to Detroit to be the new Pistons coach. I actually think that would be the spot. Like Trey was saying, he still thinks that Adrian Griffin can be a good NBA coach. That would be the team to be able to give yourself a chance with. A young team that now is paying somebody $65 million to not coach. So you got to think you're going to get at least a little bit bigger leash. Young players or not. I mean, or maybe they just swing even bigger and they just try to find the greatest name possible in Detroit. This owner now of the Detroit Pistons, I had just seen it a couple of minutes ago. He's working on his 6th coach in, I believe, 11 years of ownership.
Well, it hasn't worked yet, so you might as well keep trying, right? I think that's the way.
It's pretty remarkable.
I
Yeah.
don't like this car.
Try
give me,
again.
Give me a new car. I don't like this one. I'm gonna try to drive this one. No, I don't like it. Let me try a new one. You know.
Only problem is you can't test drive them like that.
I know it's just.
Yeah, you can. You got to pay the test drive.
Yeah,
That's
it's
true.
just costs
You don't
money.
just leave. You can't just leave your license, John. At this one, pardon me. Tom Gores will be hiring a 6th coach since taking over since 2011.
Yeah.
So let's put some respect on that name.
So
In 14 years of ownership, he's
so
going on his 6th.
I think it would be interesting if Adrian got to look at that job because I think we're all curious to see what he could do in a different situation as a coach because he did have a good record here, but he was, the eye test wasn't there for a lot of people, and it'd be interesting. Not sure. I mean, seeing the mix.
Oh no, what's the damn eye test?
Well, a lot of people just didn't think he was a good coach. They didn't like the way the Bucks looked when he was coaching. But I mean, there's
What did they not like?
There are flaws
The
in that.
wins?
The defense, the organization of the play. I don't know. I just remember every day it was the same thing as Groundhog Day. The Bucks would win, and then people would complain about the coaching. Adrian
That was
Griffin,
pretty
it
remarkable.
was every single day, and then he left, and everyone's like, "Why did we fire Adrian Griffin?" Like, because nobody's
You've been complaining
satisfied
about it all night.
I'd want to know. I mean, listen, and if you go and talk to anybody, who's the last guy left that thinks Adrian Griffin's a good coach? Trey.
Listen, I don't know. Call me crazy. If players look not happy, and you're 30 and 13.
Mhm.
Okay, now the players are happy. But we lose the first. Which one would you as a fan, as an owner, as anything?
But I gotta win the playoffs. Put it that way. That's what we'd rather have.
Funny thing is, the day that it did happen, I remember saying, "Yeah, this team in second round actually ran all over them." I didn't expect first round exit to be the benchmark for soccer was after I think it was 17 and 19 run that he closed the year out at that exact moment. Tough spot to be in.
It is a tough spot. We never will know what they would have done with Adrian Griffin. It's tough. It's tough. That's why I'm curious to see if he gets the option. I don't know if he's.
I think he will.
Job at all, but no one is yet. I mean, it just happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's within the hour. They are mentioning Borrego's name has come up. I don't know if
Borrego?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
James likes
continuing.
it. James puts his hands out there. It's over.
Well, you said James knows everything.
It's word and word, baby.
People are also throwing out a ton of stuff. Yeah, I'm going to stop saying Langley's first name because my mouth, my tongue, I just cannot do it. I can't say it. Yeah, I just can't say it. It just, for some reason, it doesn't come out well. So, President Langdon for the Detroit Pistons is going to hire his coach. They are mentioning
Top 3 high school players in Alaska history. Anybody else? Trajan's one of them. Who else wants to guess another guy?
they're campaigning another one.
There's 2 other ones you'll recognize. One of them will go there. Anybody else? Mario Chalmers.
All
Mario,
right,
yeah.
there we go. Winner right there.
Only 3 guys I recognize when I looked at this stuff this morning.
I'm amazing. You can recognize 3. 414-799-1973, NicoletLaw.com, talking text line. Wide open Wednesday for you. Brandon Ayuk says the door is not wide open for him back to San Francisco. Would you open it? Okay. We'll discuss this coming up. It's mentioned it to Jaden Daniels, John Kuhn, Billy Schmidt, Armin Starian, 9 to noon. Stay with me.
Hey guys, Billy Schmidt, Underdog Fantasy, fan favorite way to play fantasy sports. And just because the NBA season is over, NHL season, one more night. MLB is here, PGA Golf throughout the weekends. The Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, best way to stay invested all summer long. Pick between 2 to 5 players to build out your Pick'em entry and select higher or lower on a player's stats and then watch if your picks hit. Best part is Underdog keeps you updated while they show where your stats are sitting at. And if you're higher or lower right now, that box turns green. You can be a winner. I love the Underdog Fantasy app. I love how easy it is to play. My favorite thing is if you miss the start of the game, you can continue on because projections are rolling throughout the night, always updating, and you can have live pick'ems as well. Underdog Fantasy. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code Billy, and Underdog will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry plus a deposit offer. That's for new customers, a new customer special at Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Billy. Claim it now, get a mystery player pick and a deposit offer. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Trying to showcase restraint in this chair. Not something I'm good at, John. 10 minutes away, we're going to need a ruling on Armin Sarian's personal life.
I love that.
This boy's gotten himself into a sticky situation. I'm very, very excited to bring it to the airwaves coming up here in a couple of minutes. Very excited. Very excited.
Honestly,
why can't we do it now? I'm like super excited.
Well, because we just don't have
take-
a whole lot of time. I think we need to lay it out, or do we do it here and then we let people be
Whatever you
the
want.
judge, jury, and executioner at the 10 o'clock hour? That's a better idea.
All right, go ahead.
That's a better idea.
I'm in trouble. I am in a bad position right here. Your boy's in trouble.
So
And I'm not gonna get out. I'm not gonna get in a good position either.
I think you can very easily with one simple decision. Now, John, Armin Sarian going to be a father coming up here in just a couple of weeks, couple of short weeks.
It could happen anytime. I can't.
Due
wait.
date is what? July 6th?
Yes.
Better than January 6th. Okay, so July 6th is Armin's due date for his impending daughter.
All right, worst days to be born.
Yeah, January 6th would probably be up there.
I
You know,
would
they
say.
should off.
I would say.
9/11.
I would say probably that's another one.
Went to
you
school
know?
with a girl that was her birthday. July
Actually-
4th would kind of stink because everybody's party wouldn't be centered around
Well,
you.
That's what Laura
okay, so
thinks.
that's
That's what
the
Laura
thing
thinks.
too. Listen, my best man in my wedding actually had his first daughter on the 9/11, the actual
Wow.
9/11,
Wow.
sitting in a hospital watching all this go down. I think Christmas would suck.
Because you
Yeah,
can't
that'd be
share the
tough.
day and all that stuff.
That'd
but
be tough.
But I always said to Laura, like it was 4th of July. You have to look at the perspectives of it. Like you have the parade, and then you can tell your child that parade's for you, and stuff. And
So they're going to start their life by lying to them.
wow,
Yeah,
I don't think
complete
it's a
lie.
lie. I think
Sounds like a good idea.
You sound.
so
great
you're
going to
100% honest with Carson all the time? Oh, is that
Yeah.
what it is? Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, this is interesting. The
Fairly.
morals of Armin Sarian coming out real quick, about to have his first child, and
Yeah.
saying
a
that.
lie. It's just we're celebrating you.
A lie is bad. A fib, not so bad. You can do that with your kids.
Okay.
Your kids will catch you very quickly.
what's
Yeah,
a
they
lie?
will catch on at
Kids
some
are not
particular
dumb.
point.
Well,
Kids are not dumb.
At what
They
time do
They
they
might
really-
be naive, but they are not dumb.
My-
They will catch
My
you.
child, I know, will catch me, and it's because they're gonna be smart. My child will be smart. So.
My kids call BS on me all the time.
what age did that start?
5.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
So I
Till
still got a
5.
couple of years.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I still got a couple of years yet. So
Yeah,
Armin.
Yeah. Go ahead.
gonna have a child coming up here in a couple of weeks
Mhm.
and gonna celebrate his wife's birthday coming up tomorrow.
Tomorrow is Laura's birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Laura.
birthday, Laura. Happy
Day in
birthday. I
advance.
love you. Happy birthday. I
Milestone birthday?
I hope her gift comes in the mail in
I
time.
mean, she was one day from Juneteenth.
She
Yeah, that
was. She
would've been a
was.
I
celebration.
wonder if she feels overshadowed.
Well, this is
a lot of
actually
people have off work today,
it's actually the
we get a
third,
comp day.
third anniversary of our engagement as
which
well.
I absolutely take, and I'm very thankful for. Thank you for that one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, I brought that up a couple of different times. Okay, so it's not a milestone birthday for Laura.
Well, this is
but
also
it is-
the third anniversary of our engagement today, and then tomorrow's her birthday. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so a
Okay.
lot
So this
going
is a
on.
real week for you guys. Real celebration
It's
week.
of course.
Final week or final birthday for her to celebrate before she becomes a mom.
Absolutely. Yep. Final one. Big one.
You got big
birthday.
plans, huh?
We do have plans. We're going to dinner at 7:00.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it should be awesome. Should be a lot of fun. And as you guys know, the Gin Blossoms concerts.
Concerts. Now,
because we
Armin's.
talked about how there's 2 shows. So I was
Uh-huh.
like, there's a 4 to 10. I'm like, great, no problem.
We're going to go to the AARP special and go to the 4:00 show
4
for
o'clock,
Laura's birthday.
Ready for dinner, and then it'll be the dinner evening.
My wife's pregnant.
No
Get her in
problem.
bed early, away from the crazy crowd. Night 1 of Summerfest. That's a great idea.
I think I'm good to go. Then I walk into the locker room yesterday, and of course, Drew, who knows everything,
The
goes,
deans of Summerfest,
Because-
Drew and KB.
way to go. You got tickets for that other show? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, that's like 100-person acoustic special show at 4:00. It's not just like a regular show. This is how D. Drew tells it to me. It's like, yeah, it's not like a regular
How on
concert.
earth did you not know that, Armin?
Right,
They're not going
right.
to play 2 full sets
And
on the
I'm
same
like-
day, you idiot.
I'm like, I didn't know that. I don't have tickets. I don't know about
Oh, well,
that.
you got the. Oh, so you didn't get
no,
the tickets.
I just assumed it was a
He thought it was
second
a free
concert.
show. He was just going. They were going to walk up, enjoy the
No, okay.
concert,
I was
drive
now-
to dinner.
I was going to find the stage. Go
Now you
home.
got nothing. Now you got nothing.
No,
You got nothing for birthday. You got nothing for anniversary because they're too close together.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, you're in trouble. I don't know. I kind of think your dilemma is better than my dilemma. My dilemma goes Mother's Day, Lindsay's birthday, our anniversary, and they're
Okay.
equally
Yeah.
spaced, like 3 weeks apart each one. So
We're
it's
not
like,
done.
you get breathing room, but it's not fun. It's not enough where you can like, okay, one's down, I can take some time off. No, you just get some breathing room. Armin, you can you can really put two things together in one here and get away with this. But it's
Well,
got to be big. It's got to be bold.
That's true, but that's really not the issue.
That's
here.
not the issue. Oh,
See,
no, we're not
it's
done
just
yet.
like, okay, I found a way to celebrate. It's like, it's not the 4:00 show.
Not the 4 o'clock
So
show. Let's
I
just
was
go to
like-
the 10 o'clock.
I was like, well, can I go to the 10:00 show? And I'm thinking I can't.
Hold
do
on,
this.
hold on. Can I go to the 10? You
Well, Laura-
asked her, can I go to the 10 o'clock?
No, of course she would be invited too if she wants, but Laura's like,
if she wants.
Laura
That's
doesn't
nice
wanna-
of you.
Laura doesn't want to stay up on a weekday till midnight or even later to get out because it's a 10:00 show. And she's 8 months pregnant, right?
So
I'm like, can I still go after our birthday dinner to this concert? And she goes, yeah, you can go. If it's
you can go, of course.
if
Yeah,
you
totally.
love this band. I'm like, and I'm thinking this is a trap. Like, there's no absolute way. Like, this is
a trap.
I'm in
Oh,
a
it's
bad
trap. It's a
position.
big trap.
I'm like, Laura, I'm not going to this. I'm not going. She's like, you can go. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Right? This is a bad idea. Right? It's a bad idea.
You want to go so bad. I can see it in your eyes. Can Armin Sarian leave
she's-
his pregnant wife
She's
on
going-
her birthday to go see the Gin Blossoms?
Well,
no,
she's going
because
to
he
bed
has
early.
no birthday present, no anniversary present. Did you get a push present?
Yes, I did. Push
Okay.
present. I thought should be involved with the birthday present too, though, but
No.
it's not. So I
So
got a
now,
separate one.
now you have a push present that's
Push-
going to triple as an anniversary and a birthday present.
I tried to cover all my
Good
bases.
God, you better have gotten a big rock for this one.
Well, I just don't know if I can go. Is this a bad idea to try and go to this concert? Well, we'll talk about it. We got a big segment coming up here. So.
414-799-1973. Can Armin Sarian leave his 8.5-month pregnant wife on her birthday to go see the Gin Blossoms? How many times have you seen the Gin Blossoms, by the way?
I think 4 times.
Okay,
now.
for the 5th time.
all
For the 5th time.
every time at Summerfest except once. Once they were at the rave.
Please. NicoletLaw.com talking text line. We need the ruling. It's 414-799-1973. I mean, is this a trap? I think Armin should be clear
No,
and
he's done.
easy to go, right?
I'm in big trouble.
Right?
here.
You answer it next. 97.3 The Game. Yeah, Armin might need a place to crash tomorrow if indeed this decision goes the way he might want it to go. Welcome back. It's hour 2, 9 to noon. I'm Billy Schmidt. John Coons right there. Armin Sarian rocking out
Hi, everybody.
to the Gin Blossoms.
Love this song.
Love this song.
Yeah.
You can't wait to see it tomorrow. Now, 2 opportunities for you to go see the Gin Blossoms tomorrow, opening day of Summerfest. Special limited edition
Some sort of
acoustic
special-
show
Yeah, some sort
at
of
4:00.
special concert, apparently, which I didn't know was a special concert. Just thought it was another concert.
I just thought they were a remarkable working man's band, John Kuhn, and they were just going to rip 2 sets in one day. I'm like, holy cow. I was
Exactly.
unfamiliar with the Gin Blossoms game. I didn't know that they were just going to rip and roar and not even take a break. Don't even care. Take a little dinner break and play again at 10. That's what our guy Armin Sarian thought.
It's the American Family Insurance House. It's the lineup that they're in. This is the Get Up Close with Headliners or something like that performance.
That sounds right. Yeah. Get up close and personal with the headliners. You
It's
wanted to
free
at
at
4:00.
It's free on a first come, first serve basis. Fans are encouraged to line up an hour before. So maybe I could get there if I line up super
Okay.
early, if I get down there. First 50 people in line will receive I don't think I'm going to make it. I just don't think I'm going to make it.
What do you, with
And it's
that
like-
attitude?
It's an acoustic show. It's not the actual experience of the show. I mean, this is like, come on.
So the one you really want to go to is at 10:00, right after birthday dinner, John, with his 8.5-month pregnant wife.
Boy. Oh, boy.
Asking, is this a trap? The easy answer is June Milwaukee says it's the worst kind of trap, bud. Absolutely. Easy answer, no, said Tyson from Zilla, Washington. The Ricky Bobby and Muskego, though, he said if you're not in first, you're last.
Okay.
Send it, Armin. She'll be okay. It's always easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. You guys are married. It'll be fine.
I know. I don't know about that. I
It'll
think
be fine.
it'll be fine. I'm shaking in my shoes on this one because she's like, oh, yeah, you can go. No problem. She goes, I probably won't go. I'm not really wanting to stay out that late and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, boy. Well, I think this is it. I think that's bait. That's bait right there. I don't know if I should do this. I really don't.
608 as an old man in a long, still happy marriage. Absolutely don't go. One, you
Yeah.
won't have as much fun as you think you will. You'll worry.
That's true.
It's a fair statement by
That's a good
608.
point. I do that anyway. But
Number
yes.
2, women are wonderful in that for every one you give, you'll get 4 back. She'll remember. Go home and pamper her and love her. Here goes 608.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
That doesn't sound like the one you're going with. You're
It's just
hoping
her
more.
Birthday. I'm a little nervous.
It is her final
You know,
birthday before she gives birth. That is correct.
I mean, it's just, do you YOLO? Do you YOLO and
You only live once.
Or do you do the right thing? It's her birthday. You take her home, you tuck her into bed, and you sit on the couch and have FOMO the entire time.
Mm-hmm. And just wait and watch Snapchat videos while you're watching Brewers Padres.
I mean,
late
you
night.
could do the opposite of what 608 said, and you could do 4 things for her before 10 o'clock.
Well, that's the idea. Like, we're going to dinner. We can
Oh, that's one.
give her
There's
her
one.
gift. I don't know what else
Give
to
her
do.
one
Okay,
gift.
you said the gift.
Oh,
That's
gift.
2.
Gifts.
But you don't have a birthday gift now. You have a push present.
Well, he's got another gift.
Well, it's supposed to come in the mail. I hope it comes in time. If it doesn't,
Okay, so you don't actually have a gift.
well,
but
it's
that could-
coming.
so you have 1.5. What
Why-
else do you
I
have to
didn't,
do?
I didn't want to pay for extra shipping. It was just ground shipping. That's
Gee,
free.
Hmm.
Well, is that wrong? Is that wrong? I think she would have been more mad if
When'd
I
you
paid-
buy it?
Well, they say like 2 to 12 days or whatever for shipping. So I figure I'm
So
good.
when'd you buy it?
Like, okay, over
Yesterday.
Last week. No, I didn't buy it yesterday. Did not.
How many days ago?
Probably not long enough where I would have made sure to get it done in time.
Definitely not long.
Definitely not long ago.
enough. 'Cause I'm
Definitely
not gonna
this
lie,
past
standard
weekend.
standard shipping is plenty of time. Standard shipping.
Oh, my
Standard
God.
shipping is plenty of
How
time.
do I get myself in these positions? How do I screw this up? Okay.
So
all
you
right.
have no birthday present. You have dinner. You have dinner. That's actually doing something.
He's got the
dinner
other
is
present,
actually
though.
doing something?
I have a card. I'm writing a card. Like, those are not my
You're,
from my
you're, you're
words.
making your own card like my 9-year-old does.
No.
You're
I'm
making a
I'm
card.
buying the card, but I'm writing out.
I
the
think you
card.
should make a
Sure.
card. I think you should actually make the card.
That's
That
actually a good
would
idea.
be better.
Like,
Mhm.
actually design it and color it.
Yes, I think you should actually color it. Get some crayons out and start coloring yourself a card. You need to do something special.
Do it
Special.
and do it like a young baby would. Say like, this is what our daughter wanted to
We
give
didn't
you
even
for your
get deep
birthday.
enough on the dinner yet. Did you make these reservations or did she? Did she pick the place and you
she
just
picked the
booked it?
place.
Are
She
you
picked the
guys going
place.
Dutch
She made
or
the-
are you
No,
paying
we're not
for
going
it?
Dutch. I will pay for the dinner. Okay, we're not going Dutch. honey, don't get an entree. We'll split one.
Did you make the reservation?
No, but Laura always takes care of stuff way ahead of time on stuff.
She booked her own birthday dinner. You can't count that as one of your things.
Oh
You need four
gosh, you're
things, and you
right.
have none. You have nothing.
You need to
Zero
invite her.
zilch.
You need to invite her family or something to this dinner.
Uh,
You might have to surprise her with like her whole family at this dinner at this point.
Well, I think she'd rather it be just us. I really do. I really think she'd rather it
Okay,
be just
Armin
us.
doesn't want to pay for everybody. Okay, that makes sense. That's fine.
All right,
That's
let's
fine. We're
shoot
trying to
you.
we're balling on a budget here before the baby comes.
I'm really in quicksand here. Rich and West Dallas.
Yeah, you're
Give me some
struggling
advice,
right now.
Rich, you
Rich.
there?
Armin, yes. Armin, as I said, I have 11 sisters. I'm going to tell you.
You have 11 sisters, you said?
Yes, sir.
Oh, gosh. Okay, go ahead.
And I'm going to tell you, I've learned a lot over time. One, isolate your presents. If you're going to give her a push present,
Yeah.
put it with an anniversary, birthday, guess what? Now you're just setting an expectation that you're going to have this awesome present all the time when birthdays comes along.
I did think about
isolate
that.
it out.
I have thought about that in the last few years.
Isolate it out. And
Okay.
the 608, that dude, he had it right. If you're going to take this one, you're going to have to give her 4 back later. That means she's already planning. You're going to Jim Blossoms. She's got 4 different events she's going to without you.
Well, I mean, she can do that. I'm not upset about that. I just don't want it to be.
Well, and now here's the other part. Could be with or without you, right? Now she might be dragging you to something that you're not trying to go to because of this,
Armin.
right? Like
Oh,
you might be going to see a Christmas Carol 2 or 3 times.
Well, hold on. Let me defend myself for a second. All right. I've been to 3 Backstreet Boys concerts with her. Thanks for the call, Rich.
Yeah, thanks,
I've been,
Rich.
I've been
Also, listen, one
Hold
thing,
on.
one thing about marriage receipts, Armin, is they don't work both ways. You don't get to keep receipts. She gets to keep them. She is the receipt holder, and she will bring out receipts when she wants. You do not bring. If you bring out receipts, expect it to get worse.
We
That's like
drove-
throwing gasoline on the fire.
we drove-
Do not bring out a receipt.
We drove 12 hours round trip to Detroit last year for Taylor Swift. 12 hours round trip.
Hey, you got to go to Cracker
And
Barrel.
you wanted that.
You got to go to Cracker Barrel.
I did. That was nice. I love Cracker Barrel. I wanted to go, John. Yes, I was fine with it, but like, come on, who wanted to go to see Taylor Swift for that kind of money and drive that far, right?
Who bought the tickets?
Laura wanted to go. Laura did all this. So obviously, I did that. I've been to Backstreet Boys enough times. One time with
That's
Billy.
a good show, though.
It was actually
Who bought,
awesome.
who
an
bought
awesome
those
show,
tickets?
though.
Who bought the ticket?
Can't remember. I think we both bought them. I think honestly,
Oh, you split. You bought your ticket. She bought hers.
I think we paid together on that. I don't remember what happened with the tickets.
That was the
And
joint
listen,
bank
I'm
account,
saying
okay.
if
Yep.
she is paying for everything, if she's taking care of and footing all these bills, you can't count them as your sacrifice.
Well, it's my
an-
time.
That's
It's-
an expert statement
No,
made by
no,
this
no,
But these
no,
man
tickets,
right here.
but these tickets tonight are free.
There is
Tomorrow night
there
are
is
free.
no sweat
The
equity
Jim
in this. Armin.
Blossoms are a free concert and a free. I mean, once you get entry to Summerfest, it's a free stage. This will cost us nothing. You know.
Paul from New Berlin. Armin's dilemma for the Jim Blossoms. Armin, even though she's saying yes, she is thinking he better not go to this concert without me. This is a test for after the baby is born too. Armin, if you play this wrong, you are doomed. All capital letters. Do not go.
Nah,
Because
I
if you
know.
go, your wife will think after this baby is born, how many more times will he ditch me?
That's probably what exactly. I think that is part of the psyche of when you're pregnant, you're a woman, and you think that way, right? Yeah. I
What's
wanna be
even more
abandoned.
than this, Armin,
I don't want her to
is
feel abandoned. You know.
you may have to use not going to the Jim Blossoms as one of your things. Because right now I'm hearing
Oh yeah, good.
you have a
point.
push present. You may or may not have a birthday present.
Well, it's
And you
coming.
don't
That's
have
fair,
an-
yeah.
and you don't have an anniversary gift. So you are sitting here. I mean, you're batting about 300 right now in a game where you're expected to bat 1,000.
Well,
it's not your real
You
anniversary,
cannot
right?
take a hit.
but let me just say this: it's our anniversary of our engagement. It's not like
So it's
our
not your
wedding.
real anniversary.
Yeah,
That's not an
yeah,
anniversary.
yeah,
Okay,
come on,
okay,
come
good.
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because you would
What's-
be in remarkable trouble if you were missing that
That's
too.
different. I would never have scheduled our anniversary.
Josh in the
the day
Falls, you can
before what,
absolutely
birthday.
not go. You would not have scheduled that in front of a Gin Blossom show. You
That's
can.
right. You got married in October. What are we even talking about anniversary?
No, it's as I said, it's our engagement anniversary. It's
that's
really,
not a thing.
Fine,
I don't
fine.
even remember
So
the day
for-
that happened,
All right, so forget that.
and it happened a year ago.
Forget-
That's not a thing.
All right,
If
so-
you're
okay.
worried about that, then you are already with way too much anxiety about this thing. If you are thinking about your engagement anniversary as a thing,
Right.
then you have way bigger fish to fry. You absolutely can't.
Okay.
do this
Well,
thing.
yeah, that's a good point. So I really shouldn't think about that. I don't think that is a big issue.
What does she do for your anniversary of your engagement? Does she
No.
hold it in high regard?
No, honestly doesn't. I just thought it was like, I just remembered it. She's like, hey, do you remember what this day was?
Oh, you just want to throw one in
And
there.
I was like, yeah, it was our engagement anniversary type of thing. That's all it was. It wasn't like,
So what really happens on this? Because you've had several of these anniversaries before. What generally happens on this day?
Nothing. I don't know. Nothing. We don't do anything. We're eating leftovers tonight. Is that what you
Hey,
mean?
there we go.
I think
That sounds tasty.
No, I'm just saying, we don't have like, we don't make this a big
It's not a
day.
big deal.
We
No,
don't make
it's
this
just
a big
it's just
day.
a day that you remember. Like, oh yeah, we did this on that day.
Jenny
Almost like a
from-
Snapchat memory is what you're saying. It
Right.
is.
Jenny from Naples, will you really enjoy the show knowing she's home alone? No, don't go. You've already seen the show. That's a good point. That's a good point too. If I'm just going to be like anxious about the outcome here, I probably shouldn't go.
Brian in Milwaukee. Armin, those
I can't
Backstreet
go.
Boys concerts were just as much fun for you. Do not lie to these people who are listening.
See, he knew the secret. He knows,
He
the
knows
secret.
the secret. He knows the secret. I like this one from Josh in the Falls. You absolutely cannot go. If you go, you abandon your 8-month pregnant wife on her birthday to see a band you've seen 4 times. You'll never hear the end of it. It'll come
I
up
know.
every year.
I know.
However, if you don't go, you're still going to be in the doghouse because she's going to feel guilty for you not going to see a band you love. Your only option.
So I'm in trouble either way.
Your only option, and Josh is pretty right here. Your only option is to get hands-on tickets for that 4:00 show.
So just try and go to the 4:00 show. Well, how long is the line going to really be for the Gin Blossoms? I'm sorry. I know I love the band, but I mean, yeah, I might be able to still make that.
What time Summerfest open tomorrow? Noon?
I don't know. Probably.
You skate right from here. Stand in line all day for those free tickets to the Gin Blossoms. Then you'll show.
Then I'm
her
going to
how
show up
much
to
you
dinner.
love
I'm going to show up to dinner all sweaty and hot because I was standing outside all day. Can you imagine? I'm here, honey. Let's have our
I'm
dinner.
good. I'm ready.
We're going to Avli. You know the place Giannis owns, the Greek place. I'm excited about that.
Now, how about
So,
this one from
yeah.
Maggie in Georgia?
All right, Maggie, go ahead. I need something, please.
The dinner on her birthday is great. Then
Okay.
you can celebrate all weekend. The Gin Blossoms aren't in town every day.
Let's go.
I like getting gifts after my birthday as well, and I get to celebrate longer. Now, that's a different perspective,
All right,
John, than
let's
we've been
go.
hearing
Let's go.
from Maggie in Georgia,
It's-
who's potentially trying to gas up our boy Armin
That's
here to
what-
say, I'm going.
That's why I scheduled the gift to come a little late. Because it's your birthday
That is
weekend.
not why you did.
No, that's that I can do it that
Not why
way,
you did.
right? Right? Because it's a birthday weekend.
Mm.
I don't know,
And-
John.
and
You're-
listen, I wonder how many men Maggie has set up before with that same exact line. It's okay. It's okay. Maggie, I
That's
see
fair.
right through you. I see right through what you're trying to do to Armin Sarin. How many other men did you slay throughout the years?
You know, the fact that it's 80% just don't go is a trap. I do worry. I just think this is probably a bad idea. Like I might try
Yeah, it's
and go
probably
to
not
this.
the best idea.
What if Laura falls asleep at like 9 and I can just go? Is that nah, it's too shady.
All the old sneak out of the house like you're
Nah.
a teenager. That sounds like a phenomenal idea.
Now
What are you
we're
gonna
talking.
Are you gonna tie some sheets together and climb down the side of the apartment too, Armin? What happens when your neighbors see you climbing down a sheeted rope?
Or your
what are they
ring
gonna
doorbell
say?
my
catches you.
neighbors, my neighbors are old. They'll all be asleep.
All of a sudden she looks, wait, why is there a person at our front door on our ring doorbell?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
We got an Amazon package.
Tater
All
in
right,
Houstonford
yeah.
on the NicolayLaw.com talking
all
text
right,
line. Good
Give me
point.
something good, Tater, please.
At least Armin will have a sponsored personal injury attorney after this goes down. Thanks, Nicolay Law.
Yeah, appreciate that. Todd and Sheboygan on the talk line.
What
Go
do you
ahead,
got, Todd?
Hey guys, Armin, you know your wife better than any of us do, so it doesn't matter what John thinks or Billy or me or any of the
Let's
callers.
go.
Oh, there we go.
Let's go, Todd. I like that.
If you think that she's okay with this and whatever, and you can go, I'd be more worried about you not having a good time because you're worried about what she's going to
See,
think.
you know
But
me, Todd. You know
I
me
think
very well.
You know your relationship and how she's going to be, and she may be like, you know what, I'm going to fall asleep anyway.
Right.
You're in Milwaukee. We all have cell phones nowadays.
Sure.
She can give you a ring if she needs you. If you're not going to have fun, then I'd say don't go. But I'd say you know your wife. Do whatever is gonna, do whatever your relationship allows.
Todd, are
Let's
you
go, Todd.
speaking?
All right,
are-
all right,
Todd,
Todd.
but wait, I gotta get
Wow.
his prerequisites. Todd, have you been married before?
Absolutely, almost 26 years.
Okay,
There we go,
okay.
Todd.
And how many times have you done this exact same scenario?
So when my wife was pregnant with our first child, this was back in this was 2001.
Mhm.
I'm living in Sheboygan.
Mhm.
I'm golfing in Appleton, probably in August or whatever. Our daughter was born in September. So
Okay.
All right, couple weeks.
I had a
before.
beeper. I had a daddy beeper, and the guy that was with said, if that thing goes off, we're out of here. But I was an hour and a half away. My wife was like, just go. Anything can happen. I can get there. Whatever. I know people. So I guess that's why I'm looking at it from my standpoint, going, there's other things that I wouldn't dare do that I know she.
Wait. But there's
okay.
more on top. There's more on top of her being pregnant. It's also her birthday. How many times did you leave your wife on her birthday to go do something you wanted to do?
Right, but they're going out for dinner beforehand, and then the gin blossoms just happen.
Yeah, tell them, Todd.
Todd, that's you're evading my question. You are evading my question. My question is, how many times have you left your wife on her birthday in the last 20 years?
Okay, I haven't, but I can.
Okay, I rest my case. Thank you, Todd.
I
love you.
though.
And Armin, notice he's happily married for 20 years,
I know.
and he has never done it, not one time.
Thanks,
Maybe there's
Todd.
a reason.
All right, thanks,
I
Todd.
do like Todd trying to find a way, John. Be like, but but it's a different birthday.
Listen, he was on the stand.
Come
He was
on.
skirting the question. He was giving me all kinds of answers, and I just demanded that.
I know. And it stinks because he was the one guy that was starting to tell me something I wanted.
Todd, I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Todd, just give me
need
the
the
answer,
truth.
please.
Just pull a Nike and just do it, Ben in the
So many good
262.
texts. Okay.
Brad in the 414. Gin Blossoms absolutely slap.
I
You're in
know.
a no-win situation.
I know.
But you should take advantage of the opportunity and go out late while you can.
See, I have seen the Gin Blossoms before. So it's like, do I need to see them again? I don't need to, but would I like to? Yeah, but Laura's going to have more birthdays. You know what I'm saying? So it goes.
You hope.
Well, yeah.
Well, she's going to have more birthdays.
Yeah.
But will you be around for them? That's the question.
Well, yeah.
414-799-1973. We'll keep this rolling. Armin Sarian wants to go
All
tomorrow night to see the Gin Blossoms, night one of Summerfest. Only hang up is he'd have to leave his nearly full-term pregnant wife on her birthday after dinner to go see the Gin Blossoms.
I can't do this, right? Well,
you're trying to convince yourself to go.
Of course I am. I'd like to get it. I'd like to be able to, for all the workout. I'd like to be able to enjoy the birthday, have a great day, and see the concert. And everybody's happy with everything. I'd love that. I'm always looking for solutions. I'm solution oriented here.
Sure.
I'm trying to problem solve.
And you're trying to find tickets to the 4:00 acoustic show. 414-799-1973.
That might be my best option.
Can Armin actually ditch his pregnant wife on her birthday to go see the Gin Blossoms? Your answers on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line continue on 9 to noon.
John Kuhn here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And the time is now to replace some windows and doors, especially if you're in an older home, but doesn't mean it won't be without a challenge, because the way they did things in older homes, not quite the way they do them today. And it's why many people with historic homes reach out to Pella. It's because of their team of experts. They can customize windows and doors to match architecture from literally any era. Doesn't matter what kind of home you live in. They have nearly endless possibilities in sizes, colors, finishes, and so much more to fit exactly the look you want. And if you order today from Pella, you get 0% interest for 36 months. That's 3 years, no interest financing. Try finding that deal anywhere. But that offer is only good till the end of the month. Pella's products, they stand the test of time as well. In fact, we're so confident in that they offer the best wood warranty in all of the business. With deals like this, there's no reason to wait any longer. Get 0% interest for 36 months if you order by June 30th at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. So set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com. And please tell Gina Della that John Kuhn sent you. Certain restrictions apply. See Chevron for details.
Oh, Armin, you got yourself in a pickle right here, and not the kind of pickles you like.
Not
it's
the
9 to
kind
noon.
I like.
John Coons right there. I'm Billy Schmid. Armin Sarian has himself a dilemma. His wife is almost full term, 3 weeks away from her due date, as they welcome in their first daughter to the world, first child into the world.
By the way,
Armin
we're
wants
ready.
to see his favorite band, the Gin Blossoms,
Yeah,
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Happens to, oh, by the way, be on his wife's birthday. They're going to go to dinner. Can he leave her at home then and go to the concert?
10 o'clock concert. Remember,
10 o'clock concert, because
it's
you
10
can't go to the 4 o'clock because you don't have tickets.
Unless I
Can't
wait.
go without
unless,
Coops, baby.
Unless I wait out there really early and stuff like that, which I don't think I'll make.
Which seems like maybe the worst of the
Right.
ideas here.
Right.
414-799-1973, NicolaLaw.com talking text line. Absolutely buzzing on this one. Now, John, this has been a question that we have not asked. And probably so, because we're getting out of the hundreds of messages, it's about 20%. What happens if she goes into labor?
Well, then I get then I collect myself and go. I mean, I don't think that's as big an issue as
Well, of course you collect yourself or go, but it's just, it's kind of.
Oh, you weren't there type of thing. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
it.
Well, no, it's not that you weren't there. It's just kind of.
No.
Damn, I mean, you thought you might worry being there on her birthday and how
Right.
she might feel about that. Oh,
Right.
You're really going to worry. Like, am I going to get home fast enough? Is she going to be able to drive herself? What the heck's going on?
She just texts him, I think I just had a contraction.
Okay, so then I go. No problem.
See,
what if he goes and she's like, "Oh, he went. Yeah, let's throw him for a loop." I may have just had a
Oh,
contraction.
you think she'll play
In the
a
middle of
joke
the
on me?
concert.
She would do something like
What
that.
if she just
That would
ate
be
too much
awesome.
Greek food at Giannis's restaurant, and then all of a sudden she has a big burp, and she's like, "Oh, what was that? That might have been something else."
That
Oh my
feels like
gosh,
something.
Sherman.
You know, that's a concern for first-time mothers. Is
Is
this
this
a
the first one?
contraction? Is it not?
Mhm.
Do I know? You
Yeah, I
know?
mean, Allie waited like 2.5 hours to tell me that she was feeling it. And
You
she's
see what
like,
I'm
"Yeah,
saying?
I don't actually know if it was." Oh, okay, cool. You could have given me the heads up. If she
Right.
told me like in the middle of a radio show, I'm like, probably could have left. Probably would have gotten out of here. But I'm also probably not the right case here, because your boy did fire up a couple of games of Call of Duty with my friend Fuchs while Allie was going through the contractions, and we were still timing it out before we went to the hospital.
So you were just chilling out for a while, yeah.
Well, I mean, no, we had time to kill.
That's
And
what-
then
that's
I
true.
realized that we were going to have even more time to kill. So I had the stopwatch on my phone, John. I was keeping track of how long they were. I mean, they were like 6.5 minutes apart.
As
We
long
still
as you-
had like
as-
a minute and a half.
As long as you're doing that, that's what they keep telling us in class. It's
You had
like
plenty of time.
it's going to be a longer
of time.
process than you think. You know, you grow up watching a sitcom and you think the baby comes out and everyone's scrambling around and rushing to the hospital. It's just not usually how it works.
My wife just texted and said you should go.
Well, if
I don't know. I don't know
Allie's-
what that lays in here.
Allie said that.
Allie
I should
said
go?
you should go.
Was that is that kind of
She
like
might
a
be
trap?
trying. She might be trying to trap you.
Is
But
that
what
a
about
trap?
John in the 414 here?
All right, go ahead.
I'm shocked to hear the beta answers from Pipe Bomb and an NFL tough guy are giving. Where's Jeff?
Wait a minute.
Where's Pipe Bomb?
Wait a minute.
Where's Jeff?
And why am I a tough guy? I mean, what do
Fullback.
I do that's tough?
Not a kicker. That's what.
Not a kicker. There we go.
NFL tough guy. Yeah, that's kind of that's
Softer than a baby's blanket.
Mm.
I'm a feminist, which means I believe women are strong, independent-minded people who can think and speak for themselves. She said go. So you go. If she gets mad in the future, you remind her that you love her and respect her opinions. So next time, she should be more direct, because you absolutely would have stayed home if she told you. If not, you'll be dealing with this for the rest of your marriage. Do I believe what she said, or do I have to consider if she's doing the passive-aggressive thing again, saying the opposite of what she actually thinks? She might not like it at first, but she wants you to be the alpha and lead. And
Okay.
eventually she'll appreciate you, want to be direct with you. Men, including me, are too dumb for mind games. Now, he is right there.
I agree with that.
Just celebrated 20 years of marriage a few weeks ago. Stay sober, though. That way you can react if any potential emergency with a clear head. All right.
Well, you know, I'm not paying them that money for those type of beers. Yeah,
There's
that's
a
true.
lot there from John in the 414.
Jeez, a lot there. I don't know if it's that serious, but there's a lot going on with that text, man.
No, he's saying you gotta do this as a.
You gotta make a
point to-
decision.
This is setting precedents for the
Right.
rest of your marriage. If you don't go, you're now conceding that she might be past. Actually, what
It's
he's
a-
saying
it's
is,
butch
if
advice.
you don't go,
Right.
you don't believe her. You don't believe
That's
her,
fair. Yes.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
you think she's lying to
Right,
you.
which I don't want to call my wife a liar. right? I wouldn't want to say
You
that.
prefer to call her a truther.
This is a Butch type of advice. Butch would always give me marriage advice. He would say, "This is the battlefield, Armin. You need to set your line."
Oh, so you got to win one, is what he would
You
say.
got to set your line.
But no,
in
he's
the
a
sand.
feminist. He's a feminist.
Well, exactly. I mean, this is what John the 414 said.
319 and
It's honestly tough to decipher this.
Iowa texter. Armin has technically done nothing for her birthday. Spend time with her and show your family is better than a concert. Come on, man.
See, that's hard to argue with that logic. It really is.
Jason and
if you
Wilmot.
make it that simple, yeah.
My wife tried pulling the same thing with me, telling me I could go, saying I could go when she didn't want me to go. So when she got mad at me, when I still went, I told her our marriage is not built on lies. So don't lie to me next time.
God.
It should be built on trust and honesty. That's a fair statement.
Yeah, but see,
It's a fair statement.
I'm not trying to get myself in a situation
You
where
don't want to go to litigation with your 8.5-month pregnant wife?
I don't want to have to litigate anything, whether or not I'll come out ahead. I mean, I'm not trying to catch a case in this situation. That's the whole point. I'm trying to avoid that smoke. All right?
Phil from Madison. Armin, just listen to the 3 good Gin Blossom songs on repeat and shuffle for 30 minutes. It'll sound better than the concert, and Laura won't be ticked at you.
You know, that's funny because I just told Billy I'm running out of bumps here.
414-799-1973.
There's at least 4 good ones. I like Mrs. Rita a lot. All right. And until I always good, Allison Rhodes pretty good. All right, let's get Appleman and Waterford.
That's what I was thinking.
Are dropping here. Appleman, go ahead. You had advice for me?
Yes, I'm gonna make your life a little more miserable.
Oh boy, I don't
tell
need
you
that.
what, guys. Yeah, I know. August 1st, they're playing in Oshkosh. I am a huge Gin Blossoms fan, and that's when I'm going.
All right. Well, it doesn't bother me that you're going in Oshkosh. Are you saying that I want to go to Oshkosh as well?
Why can't you just go to Oshkosh instead? That way you have her birthday, and that way you're around for the child, and that way she'll be past her due date. Everything's good.
No, you'll have the baby. That's a fair statement.
I don't know.
Thank you, Appleman.
I appreciate it. I think she'd rather me not do that though.
Well, now I'm going to throw in some caveats here. August 1st is closer to your birthday.
Yeah,
big birthday coming up here this year.
August
John
7th. August 7th is my birthday. Yeah.
And what birthday is that for you?
It's big 40 right there.
Their
It's the
40th
big-
birthday.
yeah,
She
it's the
wants
big-
you to live your best life. That
She's
week.
got she already has her birthday present. She already has tickets to that, Armin. You got nothing to worry about. You're already set.
You're
But she
already
thinks
going.
ahead of time. She thinks ahead of time.
She's already she does. She's already made the reservations at Cracker Barrel. You know what I'm saying?
But I think Lil Birdie told me that's going to be the week that potentially some of these shows are going to be emanating from Green Bay, where Oshkosh would be even closer for the week at training camp. So, I don't know, Armin, maybe that would even work out better. You could save yourself for the August 1st, but can you fathom knowing and hitting the FOMO, knowing that the Gin Blossoms are rocking out Summerfest in front of you?
I could do it. I could get through it. I mean, it's not going to devastate me if I don't go, but I just don't see myself saying I'm going to go to Oshkosh instead when they're right in my backyard. You get my point? I don't know if I'll do that. All right, Eric and Slinger, go ahead. Everybody else dropped here. We'll go to Eric and Slinger.
Hey, morning, guys.
Hey, buddy.
I would say as a new father myself of just about 4 months.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Congrats.
Thank you. I want to tell you to go, but I don't think it would be a good idea. As I can say, my wife went in, her water broke at 9:30 at night, 2.5 weeks before her due date. And I got to say, I don't think it would really be worth the risk. Because, hey, that happens. You're trying to fight traffic. You're trying to fight the crowd.
That's a good point.
And if all of a sudden she has to drive herself to the hospital, now it's a way bigger topic that you got to handle.
Yeah, you are
that's a good
absolutely
point.
hosed at that point.
That's a good point. I guess that's the factor I didn't consider as much as I just assumed I'd be able to get back in time and,
And it wouldn't be an issue?
well,
SNC Steve.
lied to you if I didn't believe that would probably still have a couple week or two to go a little bit here. I just assume
never know, though.
You don't know, right? That's the
never
thing.
know.
That's what Laura always.
An old wise man once told a group of young male pups, one in his wedding week, what turned out to be the best piece of marriage advice. Congrats, Billy. And congrats, Armin. And congrats, John. The advice? When you have your first fight, win it. Now, today,
There's no winning.
the steps may be reversed.
Can you believe that?
Marriage lasts, but the message is clear. Armin, Laura, you've been traditional. So, Armin, did you win your first fight? That answer is today's question. Is this your first real fight? Can you win? Did you win your first one? Or can you go and you have to try to win this one?
I mean, in our whole relationship, we've already had
he said just have a great dinner, go home, watch a Hallmark movie, feed her cravings, and build up credit, memories, experiences, credit. Don't get greedy. You'll thank me later.
No, I believe in
St. Norbert Steve.
I believe in that type of equity and building up that quality time. I just don't know. She'll be asleep anyway by 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
Aaron in Milwaukee, if you go to the concert and she does go into labor, plan on that baby being named Blossom. Because you'll never forget the choice that you just made. That could be one as well. 414-799-1973. All right. We're going to move ourselves back into the sports world.
I think it's time. Guys. Yeah.
Is that time? Is it time to let us do our job?
I think so.
Let me do my job, Molly Kieran would say, as Harmon tries to channel that one. Green Bay Hotel's getting absolutely eaten up for the NFL draft in 2025. You could have assumed that one was coming. Also, a team in a dynastic run, maybe switching states. Tiger getting an exemption. Brandon Ayuk, they don't want him in San Francisco. And beer prices maybe just a little too dang high. It's 9 to noon, hour number 3 and 20 minutes away. We're back well before then. Got an update on your final chances to join us 1 week from today for Nooner Day 5. That's next on The Game. 9 to noon. Thanks for hanging out. If you're streaming us on YouTube and X, as well as listening on the Game Network across the state of Wisconsin on the iHeartRadio app, thanks for hanging out with us. Next week, hang out with us live in person. They used to say live and in living color.
Yeah, that was the big thing. In living color was, I think, when they colorized television, right?
Oh, that's what that was. Yeah,
I think.
Correct. Interesting deal of when we think about Willie Mays, who we're honoring here today as he passed away. Armin, he played in one of the first all-color television World Series.
It's amazing. When you
as I was watching yesterday, a cut up that MLB Network did on the life and the career. It's remarkable to think of the generation that he spanned that way. It really was, and they say it in there a couple of times, the glory age of baseball.
It was the golden age. It was no doubt about it. That's the age that we kind of crystallize as the bastion of history and everything that was mythically beautiful about the game. And
there's no cheating going on.
The Mickey Mantle days and all those days.
Yeah, no one was doing anything crazy.
Oh, sure. Nobody ever cheated back then.
No. All that came in the 90s with these.
Think about it. He spanned
beefed up guys.
Basically parts of 4 decades. Now, his first year with the Giants
remarkable
was in 51, but he did play with Birmingham Black Barons in 1948 when he was 17 years old, and then his last season was in 73 with the New York Mets. Incredible. So
it's a remarkable sports life lived and an amazing baseball life lived, and one to honor here today as we lost Willie Mays last night at the age of 93 peacefully with his family just a couple of days before they were about to honor Birmingham Barons down tomorrow with a baseball game down in Birmingham, Alabama. He had just mentioned a couple of days ago that he was not going to be able to make it, had posted that he wished that he would be there. He'll be there in spirit, and he will be there in spirit coming up tomorrow as they remember the Negro Leagues for the style of baseball, the play, and just how impactful it was on baseball across the country. 414-799-1973 is the phone number. I said, though, again, hang out with us next week at Nooner Day 5. Today is your final opportunity to get tickets for Nooner Day 5. We just posted the final video of our Billy Brats. This one features Red Hot Tim Scott. You're not going to want to miss this one.
Oh, my gosh. I can't wait to see this.
Armin looks fantastic on camera.
Red Hot's doing videos now?
Apparently.
And doing some grilling. But he's working on it, man. He's working on it.
Oh, this is the one okay. Yeah.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
So I know about this video.
That is up, and the link is posted as well. The Game MKE is where you follow the station on Twitter, but 2 noon on Twitter and X is where you follow 9 to noon. That's where you find the pinned tweet that has the link to Nooner Day 5 tickets. The deadline was extended a couple of days. If we hit 300 tickets sold or midnight tonight, those are the 2 final benchmarks for the special Nooner Day section, because if we sell out the entire section, there's no more tickets to be had. But you can still go hang out with us. You just won't be hanging out with us during the game. Find your way over to the right field bleachers. Going to be an amazing time. Make sure you are there. Make sure you get your tickets today. 1 week from today, we broadcast live from the general parking lot in between Pavilion 6 and 7 in the Yout lot in the outfield all day long. Go into the game. Some massive surprises once we get into the stadium all day long, hanging out with the Nooners at Nooner Day 5. 414-799-1973, doing remarkable business as Armin Sarian is trying to figure out if he can go see his favorite band, the Gin Blossoms, tomorrow on his pregnant wife's birthday. We'll let that sit for a couple of moments here because, John, we just played some, My House, and wondering if your house might be one of the new listed Airbnbs that might be popping up around the Green Bay area. Now, Mike Florio at Pro Football Talk, they're not only posting about the Sunday ticket lawsuit, which was threatened to be thrown out by the judge yesterday, as he said, this is ridiculous what we're doing here. However, these prices might be a little bit ridiculous. Nearly every Green Bay hotel booked at the moment, thanks to a piece at the Green Bay Press Gazette for the 2025 NFL Draft. Airbnb prices right now skyrocketing across a 3-bedroom home across Lombardi Avenue from Lambeau Field, asking just under $18,000 a night, with additional fees to make the total cost of staying there for the full week a whopping $142,875 plus taxes for those visitors that are trying to go to the NFL Draft at Lambeau Field. Now it is a very early situation here. You're always going to ask a certain amount. Those prices are even higher than I could have even fathomed. They were talking for a Banky style house across from
I don't
Lambeau
know,
Field.
man. When you first said this, or is my house going to be listed? No, there's no chance I could get that thing listed. Lindsay would kill me to try and. But $100,000, if you mean to
If
tell
that
me
was the start of the conversation with Lindsay.
so my house is not near as close to Lambeau as the one that you talked about, but it could host some people now. You could fit some people in this thing.
Correct. It'd be more space than the 3-bedroom home, and those ones across the street kind of small, John.
But people would have to sleep in my kids' beds. Oof.
Put some plastic on it.
Okay, so let's figure this out. What you said
grandma's
that's one.
couch.
You said let's do some math. You said that one's 150.
Probably about 150 after the taxes. Yep.
All right, if I could get
For the full week.
110 and then spend $10,000 to completely fumigate and clean out this place after they're here for a
new
week
mattresses for the kids potentially.
just everything, $10,000, bang, just clean everything, Clorox everything. Then $100,000. Yeah, maybe I would consider it. Oh man, I'm gonna have to. Armin, I might have a tougher conversation with Lindsay than you do.
John's putting the PowerPoint
It really
together.
might be. It really might be. Now, I don't know, John. I'd be honest with you. If they know it's your place, they might pay a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
That's fair. Would you
Sleep-
put it on the listing?
yeah, or maybe you could still be there. They can just tell people come over and come sleep in the basement.
Oh, and then I could make sure they keep it clean.
it's just slumber
Oh,
party.
that's fair.
Hey,
Would
hey,
chaperone the
I'm
event.
staying here with you guys. Yeah, man, we could turn this into something. You guys are, Armin, look at you. You're an idea guy
I'm
now.
an idea man now. I like that. This is a lot better. And could just be called the
That
John.
only took you 4 minutes to come up with this idea.
Just
You were
call-
fighting for an hour to try to find an idea of how you could go to that
You
concert.
can live in a hotel, you can live in some random Airbnb, or you can have the John Kuhn full experience, full back experience, back down and, back in the basement. You sleep in the basement and, you'll give him a football lesson in the backyard. It'd be a full experience package here.
When you were emphasizing back, it almost sounded like John was going to give him like a back massage or something. there
like
at the
full back.
tail end of it. Okay,
I was
yeah.
trying to do
Yes,
some
yes.
other thing.
So this is the hotel situation. We knew it wasn't going to be pretty here in Green Bay.
Fair, yes.
we
Especially right
knew
around
that.
the stadium, yeah.
We knew that. They got Lodge Kohler. What do they have at Lodge Kohler?
Yeah.
100 rooms,
Oof, maybe
100.
I would think, yeah.
So now, and I would be surprised if they're not all booked by the NFL. Lodge Kohler, that is.
Yeah.
So the hotel room's very, very limited. So there is going to be some money coming to town, and that's going to be for the Airbnb variety. Because let's be honest, I don't live as close to Lambeau Field as that house that you talked about on Airbnb, but it is closer than Appleton, which a lot of people were talking about getting rooms at. It is closer than Sheboygan,
Mhm.
Manitowoc, where people were talking about getting rooms at. Or as they said, hey, the reason they could have a Ryder Cup here is because people would come from Milwaukee and people would come from Green Bay. I mean, people would come from Milwaukee and rent out hotel rooms north of Milwaukee and drive all the way up here for this thing.
No, 100%. I mean, listen, you're right in the neck of the woods that people would be trying to pop over to. Want to get a little bit seeing the rest of the city. I mean, we want to see Lambeau, no doubt about it. We want to get away from some of the riffraff. We want to get away from some of the craziness that night. Want to be able to sleep.
I am wondering how many people are going to get here. If you've been reading on the internet, people's stories about trying to get rooms here in Green Bay, trying to book that thing out for the draft, it has not sounded like it's been easy by any means. Prices have gone up a lot, quite a bit, and availability is going down almost to nothing right now. So how many people will be in Green Bay? What'd they get? They said 750,000 in Detroit.
Yeah,
Approximately,
about
right?
750,000. Yep.
What are we going to get here in Green Bay? You think we can get half that?
I think it'll be less.
I think about
but-
half.
I
Yep.
think it'll be
Think we-
less, but yeah, exactly.
Think we can get 300?
I think we can get 300, but I think it might be able to get towards about 350, John. It's also going to depend on like the tourism part of it is a factor. It's also going to depend on how many people in the state decide, you know what? It's only going to happen one time.
You know, and
only gonna
that
happen
might
once.
make it awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the best thing of all is, hey, we can't get a lot of out of towners here because quite frankly, it's going to be hard to get rooms in Green Bay and Appleton and Fond du Lac and all the places close. So it's just people doing day trips.
All
like
Wisconsinites.
Packer games.
Yep.
Like Packer games.
Basically.
Mhm.
A Wisconsin draft. It is going to be epic. Brats and beers. and draft picks.
Sausage.
Yeah, baby, let's do it.
And somebody singing "Roll Out the Barrel" right before the 24th pick of the draft, right? I mean, like you got to
Will
have
you?
at least a stretch
Will
there in the
you?
middle. Dude,
Will
I
you
would be
do it?
down. I'd be down. That's the one polk I'll sing. All right.
That's the one I know.
I do hold
the
myself
one
down.
we know. The one we know. What other
Oh,
polkas?
come on. Are you kidding me? It's Wisconsin. You can turn anything into a polka.
That's fair.
The other one we know, I think many people would want the Bears still suck, but maybe
Well,
the
yeah,
NFL would not
okay.
like that potentially. Maybe that's the walk-up song. Once the Bears are on the clock, I would be a fan of that. Now we would be singing that. All right, we roll into hour number 3, our investment hour of the week, and it features our special guest, one of our favorites, Justin Arnett.
Let's go.
Vice President of Digital Gaming at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Going to stop by in about 15 minutes from right now. Maybe he'll answer our question here today. Can Armin sneak away to the Gin Blossom Summerfest show tomorrow on his wife's birthday? Justin's a learned man. He'd be able to let us know. He's a smart guy. He's probably got a good answer for you. Many good answers on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Our best one yet, and a Coons can't miss coming up. It's hour 3 and 9 to noon. 9 to noon, hour 3, our investment hour. Always one of our best ones yet. Won't be playing this song tomorrow as Armin Sarian sneaks away from his wife's birthday to go see the Gin Blossoms. But maybe they're going to add Shabuzi's Tipsy into their catalog because right now it's one of the hottest songs around. That'd be amazing. That would be one you could not miss.
If they covered Shabuzi,
you'd lose your mind. Or Taylor Swift. Oh my God, you'd be losing your bacon.
Maybe that's the way to get Laura there.
Tell her they're gonna do a Taylor cover.
I heard they might cover Taylor. Can't promise it. I heard it. It's on the message board.
Yeah, she's in there for sure. 414-799-1973. News around the world today. We talked about it a couple of different times. Baseball world mourning the loss of Willie Mays yesterday at the age of 93. Brewers hang on after leading 6-0 going into the bottom of the ninth. They needed a Sal Frelick superhuman moment as he robs a 3-run shot from Taylor Ward to preserve a 6-3 win. They go after a series win against the Angels in Anaheim tonight. Monty Williams fired by the Detroit Pistons after just one season of a record-setting $78.5 million contract. He has $65+ million remaining on that deal that he will be paid in full to not coach that team. And one guy that's still waiting for news on him, John Armin, Brandon Ayuk. Now, he made a little bit of news the last couple of days, John, when a live stream video of him on FaceTime with Jaden Daniels, the quarterback, now a number 2 overall pick from the Washington Commanders, where Ayuk just says, hey, man, they told me they don't want me back. He wants a number 1 like wide receiver contract from the San Francisco 49ers. Brandon Ayuk, if you remember, was a part of that draft with CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Henry Ruggs, a bunch of big time Jalen Reagor, big time wide receivers coming out of the draft. Ayuk has not put up the numbers of Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb, but has shown flashes of some brilliance. Wants to be paid like it. And John, we thought that this might get a little contentious with the Niners because right after the Super Bowl, there were some statements out by Ayuk talking about his contract and he wasn't going to be making anything less than what he felt like he should be getting, what he deserved. Seems like the 49ers are not getting out of this situation at least right now for the foreseeable future if they don't want to make some changes here with the Ayuk situation.
Well, you see that video and you don't know. Did they really say, well, no, we're going to try and trade you? Or did they say $30 million a year for a wide receiver? No, we're going to try and make it work somewhere else. We got other guys to pay. We got other mouths to feed. And that's what he took as we don't want you, right? Either way, it kind of feels like Brandon Ayuk and the 49ers are destined for a breakup here, for a trade at some point in time. The Brandon Ayuk to Cleveland, the Brandon Ayuk to Pittsburgh, the Brandon Ayuk to New England. That sweepstakes has been going on this entire free agency. So we'll have to wait and see how the thing plays out. But it's just the next. That's the next, the next stage for how do I go to social media? It used to be, I'm going to get traded. I'm just going to unfollow everybody from the 49ers on social media. That was the first step. Let me do the unfollow thing.
Yep.
Now it's okay. How can I take it a step further? Well, I can either tweet something about it, or I could just go straight up on TikTok and talk to a quarterback from another team and say my team doesn't want me.
Yeah, who I played with in college and had 8 touchdowns at ASU in his freshman year for Jaden Daniels when he was the quarterback there and Ayuk was coming out of school. So there's obviously familiarity there. There's obviously friendship and a working relationship there. But you're right. This is now the way that it plays out. You start laying the breadcrumbs, and then if it's not working, push the accelerator down. The other reason why this feels, because people have tried to bring up, John, like the CeeDee Lamb thoughts of, will he end up getting traded out of Dallas? If they can't pay him, they got to pay Micah Parsons. They're going to have to pay Dak Prescott. Are they going to pay CeeDee Lamb? The Niners also drafted a wide receiver in the first round, right? When you take Ricky Pearsall from Florida, it only intensifies the idea that probably a Brandon Ayuk could put into his mind of, hey, man, we're not going to pay you that much, especially when we just got this one over here, much cheaper version. That can also be they don't want me back, man. They just drafted my replacement. It can add some fuel to the fire, but it also makes it maybe a little easier pill to swallow if you're the 49ers, knowing that you have another one sitting in reserve that you just drafted that you want to be able to put out onto the field, along with Debo, Kittle, and McCaffrey, because if there's a rookie spot where it could be a nice landing zone for a wide receiver, that's one where you're not going to be asked to do a whole hell of a lot right out of the gates and be able to grow into your spot if you're Pearsall for the Niners.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a tough spot to be able to see if you're the Niners. Will they end up moving him? Will they be able to pay him, or do they even want to? And that's the other part of it. Or do they want to pay him and move off of Deebo Samuel? We shall see.
Even at this point, Billy, it's do you have a choice, right? Or is it Brandon Ayuk now? Is it Brandon Ayuk's agent? Right. At some point in time, we saw it with Devontae Adams. There was no changing of the mind at that point in time once it got there. And, now you look back and you hear Devontae in the interviews and you think to yourself, well, could you have maybe just been a little more patient and let this thing play out with Jordan Love? Would that have changed your mind a little bit? If he'd have waited 1 year, he would have gotten to play with Jordan Love a little bit more, and he would have gotten to see that his quarterback, Derek Carr, was traded away or released from the Las Vegas Raiders. That probably would have massively changed his opinion.
Yeah, and you understand that it's a waiting game and that there's going to be a time for you to come up, but it's difficult to continue to ask these guys to wait. I think Ayuk is in a weird position where his best football should absolutely be in front of him. And you see moments where, damn, that's big play, number one wide receiver like stuff. Just the sheer volume that he's going to get is never going to showcase that in San Francisco.
But think about where San Francisco is now. They're going to have a quarterback extension looming coming up rather shortly. They have
just kicked in McCaffrey's money.
They got McCaffrey there. They got Deebo there. They have all kinds of people that they have to pay. So they have to make sure the right ones get paid. And as you look at, I hate to bring it up, the Kansas City Chiefs. I know they have Patrick Mahomes, so that's the get out of jail free card with everything.
Sure.
But as you look at that, they chose to pay Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones. I mean, that's where they went first. They didn't go Tyreek Hill, and they still ended up going back to the Super Bowl. Maybe the 49ers, being the team in the NFC that's been there a couple of times now, takes that path.
Yeah, how you dole that money out is as important as personnel evaluation. That is personnel evaluation these days. And that's where, I mean, I know we don't like, some people like it, but that's where the running back market comes in.
Well, and you add in the running back now. Both of these two teams, if you're talking about the quarterback for the Eagles and the Niners don't have the new quarterback money kicking in.
Right.
The Eagles do now have the new quarterback money kicking in with Jalen Hurts' big extension. They just extended Devontae Smith a year early. They just extended A.J. Brown a year early. Now they sign Saquon Barkley, and they're paying Dallas Goedert good money at the tight end spot. So they have so much money tied into their position players that you're going to see if their strength for the last couple of years, why they've been one of the best teams in football. Yeah, they've got good young skill positions on the outside, but they're anchored by two of the best interior lines on the offense and defensive side of the football in the league. Interesting to see if they can replicate that now that they have all their finances out on the outside and in skill position players. And some of those offense and defensive linemen are starting to age out when you think of Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelce each retiring this year.
And as you speak to the 49ers, this is another reason why player or personnel and coaches probably don't want that training camp thing to start so late into the process, because they got 9 weeks now to look at Ricky Pearsall, right? Their first round draft pick, to say, what's this guy going to be able to do? Is he going to be able to, be a guy that can go out there and be dynamic like Deebo Samuel was early in his career? Would we be able to get some work out of him? Because if so, maybe $30 million for Brandon Ayuk is too much money.
414-799-1973. Also, before we get to our guest, special shout out to former Green Bay Packer Jonathan Garvin. He was a standout in the UFL. I don't know if you guys were seeing the numbers he was putting up in there. Big time year for the champion Birmingham Stallions, working out for the Dallas Cowboys today. So maybe getting himself back in the NFL. If you remember, Jonathan Garvin was wished a happy birthday by the Packers and then was released promptly 3 hours later. So that's not nearly as bad as what Armin Sarian's trying to do tomorrow on his wife's birthday. 8.5-month pregnant wife birthday. I mean, getting cut from an NFL team, getting ditched to go see the Gin Blossoms. I mean, tomato.
It's
those are right there. It's basically the exact same thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's step into one of our favorite places in the whole wide world, Potawatomi Sportsbook. Now we welcome on to the NicoletLaw.com talking text line, Vice President of Digital Gaming at Potawatomi Sportsbook, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Fantastic place to be hanging out all weekend long, any day of the week. But the Sportsbook, all day, every day. Justin Arnett hanging out with us here. I'm Billy Schmidt, John Kuhn, Armin Zarian. Justin, great talking to you as well as always, man. But, man, after a big Father's Day weekend in the world of sports, the action had to be robust for you guys this past weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You know, as always, the U.S. Open's always a fun event. We got these Euros going on. Of course, the NBA finishing up. Yeah, it was a pretty fun weekend from the sports world.
Okay, you're throwing Euros in there. What's the European soccer handle that you guys are taking here? What's the amount? You guys getting a decent amount of bets here on the Euros? Because I've been told by some that like soccer. One of my friends is big into soccer. Dude, Euros are way bigger than the World Cup. Like, you're not even understanding. Like, this is way harder to even win than the World Cup. So what kind of action are you getting for these?
It's pretty good. You know, I can't really go into numbers or whatever, but it's pretty good. It's like it's a small but super diehard group of people that are into it. You know, you get like your normal soccer fans, but then you have a lot of people like maybe that moved here from Europe or whatever, or they're just fans, and you know, they're here every day watching every game. You know, we've got it up on our big screens, so it's been pretty good. You know, it's not like an NBA finals game, but you know, we get pretty good action on it.
Okay, so in relation to that 2,000 square foot screen, how much screen space do you allocate for the Euros? I mean, is it like kitchen worthy? Is it 1/5 of the space up there? What space do you dedicate on the screen for the Euros?
So, I mean, the good news, if you're a Euro fan, most of the time they're in the middle of the day, right? They're like 7 hours ahead of us or whatever they are. And so like there's not a lot of competition. So we typically have it up on the big screen, and you know, so it's taken up a pretty big chunk of that screen.
Yeah, think about that, right? If those games are on in the morning and the afternoon, unless there's day baseball on right now.
Well, it's better than watching guys talk, right, Armin?
That's what it is.
That's what you said about French Open tennis. It's better than watching guys talk. Yeah, watch guys talk instead.
Well, yeah. When I was debating with Billy what to have on in the studio during the French Open, I was like, you want to watch guys talk, or you want to watch an actual sport? But
I'm down to watch guys.
No,
talk,
I'm just saying. Yeah, I know the fights have been big for you guys as well, Justin.
TV, maybe.
Yeah, if we're talking, it's absolutely something to watch, Justin. You're exactly right.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Armin. What were you
No,
saying?
you're good. I'm just saying. Germany and Hungary actually underway right now. If
there you go.
Get a live bet in on that though as well. But and another game in the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, Justin. That's got to be good as well.
Yeah, that you know, it's also it's kind of also a relatively small but dedicated group. You know, it's definitely not like the NBA, but we do pretty solid on those. Pretty solid action on especially when you get to the playoffs. Playoff hockey is a whole nother thing, and people come out, they're excited for it. Last night's game was good.
Indeed. Big time fun.
So you talk about the NBA finals. Did you find, with it being such a blowout, such a cakewalk for the Boston Celtics, that people still came down and partook in the activities, or did they kind of die down after the Celtics took control?
Well, you know, I was actually surprised at how much, and you know, there's not a whole lot of Boston love. I don't know if it's a particular team or Boston in general in the Milwaukee area, but they kept back in the Mavs. I was kind of surprised, especially after the first couple games. You know, that game where they blew them out. What was that game?
Game 4,
4, 5, whatever that was. They came hard. We took that one on the chin. That is for sure. People were still betting them. I was pretty surprised at how much everyone, you know, stuck with the Mavs.
Well, we're betting our heart here in Milwaukee, and we
hate those guys.
Our heart is definitely not in Boston with the Celtics. Indeed, Justin. Indeed.
Yeah, they're not the most likable team there ever was, are they?
No.
That's for sure. Yeah, definitely not likable and very inauthentic, as they've decided to try to just like copy everybody's famous moments and statements, right? Like
it's kind of funny in a painful way.
So
it is hilarious.
So that's interesting. If you see betting against the Celtics mostly because of our emotions and how we feel, what do you see on the Cubs? What kind of lines do you see on the Cubs?
So the Cubs are interesting because those people travel. They come up here. I think it's easier to go to a Cubs at Brewers game than maybe a Brewers at Cubs game. So whenever they're up here, they travel hard.
Right.
And funny enough, I found that they really they come with their wallets. Like there's been a handful of times where, you know, we needed the Brewers, like, you know, as a book, you know, which you know, and that's almost never the case. We always, you know, from a financial standpoint, do better when the Brewers don't do well, which is, you know, it makes you torn as a bookmaker. You always cheering for bad teams and away teams, but
no, but I get it because most of the money's on the Brewers because people are betting their teams. I get it. Yeah. They're not doing emotional hedges.
There's been a few times when the Cubs especially come up here, they come up here and bet so much it flips our liability, which, you know, it's kind of fun to actually be both with my heart and with our, you know, our finances cheering for the same team.
Well, there's another thing
That's been good for you so far this year. Then.
Yeah, and then you have to realize, Justin, they are among us. You'll learn this being in Milwaukee.
They are. Yep.
Being a Wisconsin resident more, those Cubs fans they infiltrate among us more than you think. There's a lot in Racine, Kenosha, and then Madison. They are out there.
Right here. Oh, I was watching games on WGN. That's why I watched.
My grandpa watched Jack Brickhouse and Harry Carey.
Guess what? They've had the team here now for 50 years. Let's change your alliance.
Yeah, one of those deals.
So now, what will become outside of baseball? Will we find other things to invest on there at the sports book? I know College World Series for only a couple of more days in Omaha. It does have to get into a little bit of a down cycle here, which is nice. Then you can take some vacation before the real season kicks off there into September in the fall, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it never completely ends. You know, the U.S. Open was great. You got the Open Championship next month. It's pretty exciting. The once in every 4 years, the Olympics is coming up. We have all kinds of action.
Oh yeah, that's
on that.
Can't wait.
The Euros right now and the Copa America, but that doesn't move the needle quite as much, which is kind of ironic. But but you're right. I mean, I try and take it easy, but for me, I'm trying to get this app built. So, you know, my life is actually not slowed down right now.
That's what I'm talking about. Justin's always working, John. He's not messing around. He's not taking a vacation. He's trying to get this app built for football season so we can party and bet and enjoy all football season long.
But easy. We're not going to have it by the start, but by the end of football season, I'm pretty confident we'll have.
All right, let's go. There we go. Yes.
Keep your head on,
the end
Justin.
of the year sometime. Yeah. This stuff takes time, unfortunately, but we're getting there.
Hey,
keep
way
chopping,
smarter people than me.
Keep chopping wood. Keep carrying water. Keep the hard hat on.
Yep.
Let's go, Justin.
Let's
Let's hear it. He's working on it for all of us. So
it's all construction all the time.
The minute you get that app built, Armin will have 2,000 $2 bets on number of safeties played throughout an NFL season. You will rake in $2 bets from Armin Sarah.
You just wait. Awesome. The juice for me is going to be incredible. 30 cents, 40 cents.
I love it. Well, you know, the regs right now, we can only take the bets on our property. We can't take it.
Yes.
You know, who knows in the future what might happen? That's not my, you know, that's the state or whoever makes those decisions. But, you know, but you can hang out in the book. You don't have to leave your seat. You can watch the game. You can bet live and, you know, not have to wait in a line at a kiosk or whatever. So it's a better experience. That's why we're doing it. And if the regs ever do change and we can go statewide, we'll be ready for it at that point.
Love that.
One step at a time.
Really quick before we get to John's pick, I have to ask you, I'm sure you were front row at Snoop Dogg. Did you go to the concert? I'm sure you love Snoop's show.
Yeah, I did go. Yeah, I wasn't front row. I was fortunate enough to be one of those little VIP sections. Turns out I know a guy, so that was a lot of fun.
VIP.
Yeah, well, ish. Depends on who you ask, I suppose, but most of them wouldn't agree with you.
Awesome. Well, we heard it was a great time. Another great event down at Potawatomi.
He's even better than a VIP, John. He's a VP of digital gaming over at Potawatomi Sportsbook, Justin Arnett. Now he's ready to hear how you're going to deliver a big ol' L for Potawatomi Sportsbook here today with a Coons can't miss.
Yeah, to me, a VP at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook is the VIP because Potawatomi is the place to be. It is the very important place to be in their casino with an open concept to the sports book. You make your way right from the floor into the sports book and see this big screen that Justin's talking about, 2,000 square foot of curved elegance. You can watch the Euros during the day and you can watch the NHL matchup at night and fights on the weekend along with everything else. And yesterday I thought there was going to be a little bit of a gentleman's sweep going on in hockey. That did not take place. I had the Panthers -1.5. They ended up losing that thing. That thing's going back to Edmonton, the city of bridges and rivers. But tonight we're going to throw a parlay together here for you, Justin, because we don't get you on every day. And now I noticed something. Aaron Judge got hit by a pitch yesterday. You do not have him listed anywhere on any of the prop bets for the New York Yankees. So maybe you guys down there at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook know something that the rest of us don't. Aaron Judge said he told Aaron Boone, I want to play. I want to go out there and play tomorrow, but you don't have him listed. So I'm gonna think that you guys have some inside knowledge. I'm taking the Baltimore Orioles plus 1.5 there at the Yankees here today. That's going to be my first pick. Then I'm going to pick some prop bets with the Brewers. I'm going to pick Angels under 3.5 runs with Freddie Peralta on the mound here today. I think that is a good bet with the ailing Angels, along with Willie Adames. Went 0 for yesterday. That means he's due. That means he's due for a hit. So over half a hit. So all he needs is one hit in this game. And then the Milwaukee Brewers, obviously, to cover their 1.5 runs on the run line. That'll get you a parlay of plus 440 for today. I think it sounds good. The only thing I'm nervous about is the Baltimore Orioles, but man, if Judge is out, that's a lock.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
I mean, I have no inside info there. I think they probably are just being cagey, but that Orioles team's pretty solid too, and they're playing for the division. Why not? I'm with you.
All right, no doubt. I like this parlay, John. 4 legs, Orioles run line, Brewers run line. Adames just needs one hit.
Come on, Willie.
And Angels under 3.5 runs. Let's hit a big one. It's about time, right? Let's hit a big one.
As LeBron said, it's about damn time.
Yeah, let's go.
It's about damn time. Justin, really appreciate it, man. As always, we can't wait to see you this summer. Next week, Wednesday, our special Brewers trip, as we go to the game in our section. We call it Nooner Day 5. We're in the outfield. Very, very good chance we're heading right there after the game, before and after potentially, because we might have to have an investment before we start the show at 9. So hopefully we'll see you next week.
Oh yeah, hit me up. Definitely. If you're on property, definitely hit me up. Maybe I'll get out to that game too. Which game are you guys going to?
The Wednesday day game, 1 week from today. Rangers, Brewers might be able to help you out. We might have them in our
we're going to be rolling pretty deep though, Justin.
We're rolling deep.
We're going to have
We're going to have hundreds at the sports book.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Well, sweet. Yeah, come by, let us know. We'll definitely take care of you guys.
All right.
We can't wait to see you, man. We'll see you there next week. That is Justin Arnett, the Vice President of Digital Gaming from Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook. Favorite part is that sportsbook there at Potawatomi Casino.
You think he realizes we're being serious? Like, he's like, we'll set you up. Like, I hope you have tables for like 250 people.
Yeah, I hope you understand how many people are actually going to be rolling over there after.
A lot of space. We just rope off the whole damn thing.
Ooh, the line to that soda machine is going to be snaking around.
People are going to walk up to the poker room like, holy cow, this many people are waiting. No, they're just here hanging out after the Brewers get a massive win. And Armin's going to cash what? Sal Frelick home run? Well, have you decided who's going to hit the bomb?
I haven't decided who my special parlay is going to be yet. It might be Sal. It might be Joey Ortiz. I haven't decided yet. It might be one of those two guys, but I'm still in the works here. I'm still deciding.
Okay.
So
have you decided what you're going to do tomorrow night? Because Nooners are still weighing in on what they think you should do. Go see the Gin Blossoms on your wife's birthday.
It's going to come down to the wire.
Almost full term. Or just go to dinner, bring her home.
Yeah, I don't
and
know
enjoy
yet.
Watching Brewers Padres late night West Coast baseball.
Haven't made a decision yet. I'm still looking for
alone
solutions.
eating ice cream, listening to the Gin Blossoms on your Bluetooth speaker. 414-799-1973. Those decisions and plenty more. And the PGA making an exemption for its most famous athlete. Could more sports do it? And is it right, wrong, or are you just indifferent? It's 9 to noon statewide on the Game. It's 9 to noon on the game. So these things pop up throughout the day, throughout the year. Every single day, there is a memory on this day at some particular point, right? Today, it's the 21st anniversary of Kyle Farnsworth, pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, just spearing Paul Wilson after throwing a pitch behind him. Sparks up a big brawl between the Reds and the Cubs. Makes me think like, holy cow, what's Kyle Farnsworth doing today? He is absolutely yoked.
Google it.
Gained like 40, 50 pounds, turned himself into a fitness instructor. But also, as I'm looking at his Instagram page and, checking out just these massive shoulders my man's got right now. Like, you got bowling balls on both sides. You look at his story. Yeah, John, he reposted the story of it being the 21st anniversary of him absolutely knocking Paul Wilson out as Wilson walks off. His face is bloody, his jersey, the old good style Reds sleeveless jerseys, which I think baseball teams should come back to.
I remember those vests.
Baseball teams need to go back to the vest jerseys. Fantastic look. However, not a good one for Paul Wilson. But I wonder that you get an iconic moment like that if you're Kyle Farnsworth. Are you just supposed to not remind people every single year that you whoop this guy on TV at an MLB game?
Well, I mean, things I like to remind people of, the Blanco and Julius Peppers.
Right.
Good
I
one.
like to remind them of that. Like to remind them of Randall Cobb's rookie 108-yard kickoff return for touchdown that I helped, him
Pushed
when
him.
he was spinning around. I gave him a little push.
Yeah.
I like to remind people when Dan Conley almost ran back kickoff as an offensive lineman for the New England Patriots against us, right?
funny
because everybody points that one out, but I figure I might as well jump on board because they're going to point it out to me. If people are going to point things out to you, this is what you flip the script. You point it out to them first. You say, hey, look, here's the
lean
anniversary.
in on it.
Here's the anniversary of it. Go ahead. Oh, I beat you to it. Sorry for you.
Okay, it's good to know,
I
John,
love
because
it.
I do remember. I don't think you were as much loved it when I brought that anniversary up the first time, but it's like you said, you got to lean into it. It's all part.
You got to
of this.
laugh at yourself.
It's all part of this. Yeah, it's all part of the story. It's all part of the story. And yeah, Kyle Farnsworth, a guy that looking for a fight, you don't say when you Google
16-year MLB vet. I didn't realize he played that long.
That is incredible. I mean, it's not easy to play that long in one professional sport, so you have to give him credit. Relievers can be those guys sometimes. Yeah,
but I mean, he is absolutely jacked right now. Like, I mean, he's also, posting supplements and helping people, live their best fitness lives, but just yoked after baseball.
I think the tweet
Interesting then, though, you see like football players a lot of time, some and mostly offense and defensive linemen potentially. Well, slim down, change out some of their deal. Like Mike Wall is now an absolute house when you talk about just absolutely shredded, but loses a bunch of weight. Baseball players, I think, can go the complete opposite.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like you can go from looking like Sal Frelick to looking hopefully not like Danny DeVito, but like, you make a very, very different turn in the baseball world than necessarily you do in the football world, or basketball is more closer to baseball in that term.
Well, I see so many offensive linemen now. I just saw, was it Mike Wall? I think I saw.
Yeah, Mike Wall is jacked up,
just jacked. And every offensive
Joe
lineman,
Thomas.
I see these guys, they're all skinny now. They love, which is good that they're at more healthier living weight, I would say, than a playing weight, right?
Well, that's fair. And, for so many of these guys that they're trying to keep weight on, trying to eat as much as possible. One guy that ended up slimming down a little bit, a friend of mine covering the Live Golf Nashville event, John. We were trying to find an event to go see Live.
Mm-hmm.
Nashville would be the place to go see a Live event.
I think that would be fun. That would be fun on and off the course.
Rolling up this weekend, Bryson DeChambeau rolls up to his press event, rocking that U.S. Open trophy. And then as this young lady, Teresa, who I know works for the AP, he just walked around and had all the journalists touch the trophy. So, I mean, listen, you guys.
Is every person in America going to touch that thing before next year?
He's like, you guys aren't going to win one. So just touch it and enjoy it and soak that moment on in.
Yep.
He is taking.
That might be it. Yeah.
Taking one of the better victory laps with a trophy. He won the PGA Championship. I just remember him randomly posting on every Tuesday morning with a bowl of like cereal. Hey, by the way, I won the PGA Championship. I hope that's kind of what Bryson does with this U.S. Open trophy and just walks it around to all different events randomly throughout
for the entire year,
whole year,
entire year.
Well,
yep.
Okay. I like that. I was kind of thinking, what are the best trophy victory laps that we've had here in Wisconsin? I mean, Giannis taking the trophies to Chick-fil-A has got to be up there.
That's up there.
Right. I mean, that's a good one. He let some people touch it. He stuck it out of the thing. I remember, of course, everyone remembers Reggie. I was a young kid taking it around the Superdome. No one got to touch it, but he ran the trophy around the Superdome. Lombardi. Made Leroy babysit
his young kid.
Jeremy. Yeah.
Now I don't remember. PJ Tucker didn't have the trophy.
No,
but he brought that big, massive gold bottle of champagne up and down the streets of Milwaukee after the parade.
That's a pretty good trophy.
That was a pretty good one to have.
Yeah.
But was it the same bottle, or did he swap that out for a full bottle at some point?
I think he kept finishing new bottles.
Yeah.
The level of, I think.
Yeah.
And then
Did we ever find out what that
shots.
bottle was? Did we ever find out what that bottle
It's a
was?
certain type of champagne. It's some expensive.
Yeah, but which one, and how expensive? Like those little details are fun.
I know it's Ace something. I did find out once, but it was so
Ace
long
of
ago.
Spades?
Yeah, it might have been that. I'll find it. Let's see.
I mean,
here.
the victory lap parade of the Brewers 1982 team. I mean, the ALCS trophy that they made. That's a legendary.
But you
victory
agree,
lap when
it's
you're not
okay
winning
for
the title.
Bryson to take this with him everywhere he goes now. Like,
Oh no, I
this
want
is-
him to. He needs to
this
lean
is-
into it. It needs to
this
be the
is his
centerpiece at Thanksgiving. It needs to be the centerpiece at the Christmas dinner. Like right there next to the big old turkey and the big old ham is the trophy from the U.S. Open with
Does he
medals
drink
still
out
around
of it
it.
for a full year?
Why not?
Might
Drink
as
out
well.
of nothing else.
Although, I mean, you're
That'd be
probably
hard
gonna-
to carry out on the course when you're, I need to stay hydrated, fill that thing up at a water station.
more than
Probably
anything, it's
doesn't
going to get
fit
dirty,
underneath that
right?
thing.
Like you're going to be cross-contaminating. Because otherwise, John, you're only going to drink like one or two different things because you're going to want to keep all of the same in there, right? Like if he wants to switch, one day he's going to be drinking Captain and Diets. Next time he's enjoying himself some Miller High Lifes, and then he
Yeah, you
really
clean
wants
it
to
out.
change it out.
Like your favorite cup. You clean it out like your favorite cup.
See, but
Everything-
then it might tarnish. You gotta
that's
keep
not
that bad
it's
boy
not
good.
that's not going in the dishwasher. That thing is strictly
wash
by
only.
hand. You only wash it by hand.
Hand wash it only in the bathtub. All right, it was Armand de Brignac, Ace of Spades Gold Brut Champagne, 15-liter bottle. It's the biggest one, $20,000 a bottle. That's what you can buy it for right now at Cask Cartel.
What? So he carried one bottle around the whole day.
Unless that wasn't the 15-liter bottle, but I would think. I mean, was it
That
that
had
big?
to be close.
15 liters is
Yeah,
humongous.
that's
Or do
pretty
you know how
big.
big 15 liters is?
That's what I'm thinking right now because I'm thinking of
No, it couldn't have been 15 liters. So a smaller
well,
bottle.
Yeah, that's the
What sizes does it come in?
Man, I would think the different bottle sizes.
Because I would agree with you. He's not finishing
12
15
liters,
liters.
there's a
in day.
12-liter one.
He's not finishing 12 liters.
Well, he was kind of not drinking. He was spitting it around and spraying people and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't
right?
know that he drank a ton of it. Like
Well,
even the big swig, I
do you
don't know
know
that
how-
there's a huge
He
amount
was
in
carrying that thing with one hand, Armin. Do you know how
Yeah,
big
I agree. You're right.
12 liters is?
No, you're right. That would have been insane. All right, let's see the collection of Armand de Brignac. I know I'm not
It's
pronouncing
like
it right.
4 gallons.
You can get them in Hakkasan. There's like
There we
9.
go.
Oh, there's like there's 9 different bottle sizes. You can get the 30-liter, which is the Midas, the 15-liter, the 12-liter, the 9, the 6, the 4.5, the 3, the 1.5, or the 750, which is a standard bottle size.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
So I would think he's in the 6 category for that thing, right? Or maybe
Yeah, because that's around a gallon and a
that's
half.
8.
Yeah.
That's 8 standard bottles.
That's
Jim?
not too crazy.
I
That's
know.
not too crazy. Also coming across the dial right here, Netflix. Armin, I don't know if this has been breaking or if this
Okay.
already came out when
Okay.
this was going to happen.
Well,
The
let's see.
Simone Biles Rising Netflix sports series documenting one of the most powerful comebacks in history
Oh, I'll watch that.
premieres July 17th on Netflix.
Haven't heard about that, so it must be new. And there's going to be some Jonathan Owens content, some Packers content. If
Oh,
they-
I hadn't even thought about
Oh
that.
yeah, if they're documenting the whole last year, there's gonna be Jonathan Owens content, aka Packers content. Well, not anymore. I mean, he's a Bear now, but
Sure.
when he was a Packer,
Yeah.
and I'm watching that.
Well, how about that? I mean, if indeed that would be in the same spot, maybe you get yourself out of jail free with the Christmas gift or with the birthday gift that you don't necessarily know is going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
You're gonna
but
get tickets to Gold Over America tour when Simone brings the tour here to Milwaukee in September.
I'd like to go.
There you go.
I'd like to watch.
That could be a part of the gift.
I'm coming up with ideas. Trust me, and that might be one of them. I'm coming up with ideas.
You're an idea guy.
I'm coming up with
We
solutions.
know that about you.
Yeah. Hopefully, one of your ideas is not taking her to Red Lobster with Zabe and Josh like they were trying to ask you to do earlier today.
I did turn that down. I was like, I don't think that's where she wants to go.
That's
tonight.
probably pretty smart.
That's probably
I'm not. I'm not against it. My man,
at least go to Olive Garden. I
Lil
mean, come
Wayne
on.
tried buying the whole. Lil Wayne tried buying the whole menu to try and save Red Lobster. Did you guys see that post? He
No.
ordered thousands.
I don't like Red
worth.
Lobster enough to care.
Wow.
I don't like
kinda with you.
seafood. So that's one of the reasons
No,
why this is not going to be one of the heartbreaking moments for me.
Right.
Now, Applebee's, Chili's close across, then we'll start having some traumatic moments here.
Sure. No doubt about it.
414-799-1973. We got a lot of individuals on the talking text line still offering Armin some ideas, offering him some suggestions. We'll clean that up. We'll round third, head for home. Mike Heller's already got it as his staff poll question of the day. So it'll be a part of the transition in 20 minutes. It's Kuhn, Billy, and Armin on 9 to noon statewide on the Game. All right, final takeaways of the show, 9 to noon, wide open Wednesday, and we went wide open on Armin's decision tomorrow to either ditch his almost full-term pregnant wife on her birthday after dinner. I mean,
It sounds great when you say it that way.
am I wrong? Am I wrong? Is that kind of what it is?
Well, I don't know about ditching. I'm not ditching her. I'm not telling
Leaving her at home to let her go to bed and you go to the
No,
concert and hang out with Summerfest.
She has a choice to go. It's not.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, continue.
Well, I don't think ditching is a fair term. I like, just going,
Leaving her at home.
doing something I want to do on her birthday.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what, John? That's a good point. Armin Sarian is trying to lay down the law. I do what I want when I want. That's a good idea. How I want. That's a good call.
Well,
Armin.
you guys told me to, stand up with it.
Nick in Green Bay, I've listened to all the arguments and opinions on whatever Armin's situation is. And I absolutely 100% see no reason why he can't go to the concert. If your eternal, forever life partner cannot see how important this is to you,
what
if one night's events are going to make or break a lifetime of nagging and reminders of how you abandon her, then is she really the one for you? Like this is something
that decision has already been made.
Yeah, a little deep on
this
that.
is something you want to do. She should support you with no repercussions, as you often do for her. Of course, I'm 46, never been married, and have no children. So the fact that you should go, the fact that I think you should go is probably a clear sign you shouldn't. That's Nick in Green Bay.
And the
that's
last thing
awesome.
about it is, maybe the question's not should Armin go, should Armin not go. Maybe the question is, should Armin be considering this for the Gin Blossoms?
Yeah, I know.
That's
I know.
exactly it.
I'm
John.
surprised more people haven't brought that up.
It's
yet.
the
It's not
Gin
Snoop
Blossoms.
Dogg.
I know. It's like, are you seeing Snoop Dogg? Are you seeing, I don't know, Dave Matthews or
U2,
yeah,
Taylor
somebody-
Swift.
I heard you two sucked, but
Well,
yeah.
but you get the point.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a huge,
Sure.
Really?
Foo
You heard
Fighters.
U2 sucked?
Foo
At
Fighters.
the, I heard that at the Sphere, it was not as good
At the
a
Sphere?
time. Yeah,
Wow,
it was
really?
not as
Okay.
good of a time as many people were hoping for. But I heard Grateful Dead was an experience.
Well,
at the
yeah,
Sphere,
that's because they're on one. You know what I'm saying?
What are they on?
I don't
Wow,
know.
just stereotyping
Just-
everybody like that.
Yeah, I shouldn't. You're
Everybody.
right. I shouldn't
Wow.
stereotype deadheads
Wow.
like that. My apologies. Yeah.
I like B-Rad in the show. Hopefully the selflessness wears off before the baby comes. Now, I don't necessarily
Oh, he's
understand
saying-
exactly where he's going.
He's saying I should be less selfless when the baby
He's saying
comes?
you should be a little selfish and say, you know what? I want to do something for myself. I want to go to this concert.
So he's saying when I have a baby, I should become more selfish. I don't think that's how
Kind
it
of what it
works.
sounded like.
I don't think that's how it works. But well, I appreciate
Rich
everyone's
P from
advice
Dallas.
today, even though
Armin,
it's
just
from
get
all
a
over the place.
mani pedi scheduled for her this weekend, and the birthday beats on, and it doesn't even matter that you went to the concert and ditched her.
You know what? He's closer to, I think, what really could be the real option here. I'm kind of workshopping solutions to try and make this something that's good for everybody. All right. I'm trying to make everybody happy here. Let's see if I can come up with something here and it'll work. I think I might be able to, but I understand thin ice, guys, very thin ice.
It's
I
a
understand.
dangerous situation.
I do understand that. I appreciate all the Nooners' advice today. I appreciate all the feedback. Considering all of it, we do have opinions from all over the spectrum, though. There's no doubt about that. So
608.
we tough
Not
on-
only should Armin go, but Red Hot Tim Scott should buy a ticket for him to the early show.
No, I don't think they're for sale. It's like a first come, first serve. So
Oh, okay.
don't worry about it. Don't even
Come
text
on,
him.
Red Hot. He could do that for you.
He's
Though.
working on it. No, don't even worry about it, Tim.
He's working on
Hey,
it.
I want to say, for takeaway of the day, let's hear it for Dave in Brookfield, who sent us a picture in. Little fun I like to have when getting rental cars in Wisconsin. He switched all 15 presets to 97.3 the game. Let's
Smart
go.
guy.
Let's go.
That is awesome.
That's a
There you
genius
go.
That is
right there.
great.
That's awesome. I love that.
There you go, Dave. That's our Quick Trip takeaway of the day. Need something for dinner tonight? Don't cook. Stop by your local Quick Trip. Pick up a freshly prepared, absolutely delicious take-home meal you might even find. If you're not pulling a Dave in Brookfield,
Right.
you're not putting on for the Nooners.
No one will ever question his loyalty.
No chance. No chance. We'll probably be seeing Dave next week. The final one, though, and the final call to action. They say that right at the end of every advertisement you're supposed to put in, John Armin. Today is the final day, Junior.
Yeah.
Get your Nooner Day 5 tickets now.
Let's go.
by midnight tonight or before they sell out. The last day to be able to get your tickets to hang out with us 1 week from today at AmFam Field for Brewers and Rangers. You got to do it today. 9 noon, Twitter and X, all of our handles. Also 973thegame.com/92noon. Get your link and get your Nooner Day 5 tickets for a wide open Wednesday. It's been fun for John, Armin. I'm Billy. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and we'll try to be better tomorrow because we have to be. It's 9 to noon on the Game.